Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday. That means Dr. Chapa is in studio. Dr. Chapa's here. We're excited. Hey, like, share, comment on this video because we're giving away some passes to our partners, our good friends, Axe Masters, Texas, in League City. Dr. Chapa, have you ever had the opportunity to go throw some axes?
I have thrown axes in a backyard and shot darts and thrown knives in a backyard, but never have I thrown axes in the League City place that y'all are speaking of. I've seen people do it on video, and it looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, so if you like, share, and comment on this, Dr. Chapa, you have the opportunity to win some passes.
I'm jumping on my phone right now to make that happen. I want to go throw some axes. Maybe we can go throw axes together and see who can get a bullseye.
100%. I am down for that.
It's a competition between you and I because Kurt's going to be...
Oh, he's the master. He's self-proclaimed.
I have said I am the champion of axe throwing. I'm so excited.
He said he would hit the tree every time as a Boy Scout.
What?
Oh, easily.
But it never stuck, right?
Easily hit the tree every time.
So it's like the handle broke when it hit the stump.
That poor tree. Poor tree.
That poor tree.
We have Dr. Chapa in studio. If you have ever had the opportunity to watch KHEA radio on Tuesday before, then you know Dr. Chapa is in studio with us Tuesday about 8:30 a.m. Is that your audio still? Oh, is it mine?
It's yours.
Oh my
I thought
goodness.
it was mine. I was like, what's going on here? I got mine on mute.
You know why that happened? Because Kurt used my iPad yesterday. What were you watching on my iPad?
Facebook. No, our live stream.
I don't know.
He was liking, sharing, and commenting.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I would say.
Well, don't ask questions you don't want to know the answer to.
That's right.
There's another video, too, with the cruise, Kurt. Let them know about the cruise.
Our cruise is our featured video on our Facebook page. You have a chance to win a free cruise courtesy of Karen and the team at Cruise Planners. All you have to do is like, share, comment on that, and you have a chance to win a free cruise.
I want to make a gift certificate like this for the cruise.
Awesome.
It's gonna and then we can be like, here's your cruise. Oh, that'd be awesome. Somebody is actually going to be cruising this year in September. They're going to be going on a cruise for Royal Caribbean for free.
This is $70. This is $70 worth. It's for 2 people for 2 hours, and we got 3 of them that we're giving away.
Wow.
Is this for the axe throwing competition?
Yeah, it's 2 hours for 2 people. Man.
Is it like bowling, though, like where you get tired of it after a while? I mean, 2 hours seems like a long time.
No, I think if you go with a bunch of people.
You take the turns, so then it says like, hey, you throw, and then you got, some time.
I guess it's kind of like darts, but cooler.
And people, it's a good way to hang out, team building because you're working on teams, or you can do it individually. And then I think people are allowed to like bring their own drinks and stuff. So it's a good time, a lot of fun. Go check them out. They're located in League City off of Hobbs Road. If you haven't been before, why not go check them out this weekend? We got about a minute left of this song. It's House Fires. Here, listen. We really do play music on the FM.
Yeah, so if you haven't ever listened to KHEA, I almost made a post yesterday saying like, hey, turn your car radio, program it to 99.5 FM.
Just like this. Easy.
That's what you hear. You hear music all day. You get to hear some of the spots from some of our partners. We play wonderful music. It's music that you don't hear anywhere else except for on KHEA radio.
If you're an artist or you know somebody who is a local musician and they have a demo, they have an album, they have something topping the charts, feel free to have them reach out. They can email us, KHEA@KHEAradio.com. We'd love to, consider their music to go in rotation. That's one of the things that we like to do as a local radio station, bring in local talent, local musicians, and showcase what our area has to offer. We were at Freedom Call on Friday. That was fun, wasn't it?
It was a blast. We had a lot of fun at Freedom Call. We didn't get a chance to talk about it yesterday, but for sure, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, posted a little recap video, so if you've seen it, feel free to share it and let us know. Hey, are you going to be there next year? We got 9 seconds, so we're going to go on the FM and get into this. Here we go. Good morning. You're listening to KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. I'm Gardy.
And I'm Curt.
We got Dr. Aaron Chapa in studio. Good morning, Dr. Chapa. How's it going today?
Oh, man, I'm fine as frog here. Excited to be on the FM. Excited to be on the live stream. Excited to be with Kickstart on our fabulous radio station.
Dr. Chapa, what's the best radio station in the world?
Dude, I'm just saying. KHEA Radio.
We appreciate you taking time. Hey, if you're listening on 99.5 FM, if you're watching on our Facebook live stream, thank you so much. We do not take it for granted that you have decided to start your day with us. This is the best way you can start your weekday every day, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 11 a.m. We want to impart some positivity. We want to let people know what local businesses have going on. And today we got Dr. Aaron Chapa in studio. He's going to be talking about health, wellness, being better, getting better, what you can do to make a difference. Summer's only 6 weeks away. Maybe you're looking to drop some weight. Maybe you're looking to get off the anxiety medicine, just change your lifestyle. Feel free to ask some questions.
Absolutely. I mean, it's amazing. We don't realize how often symptom patterns pop up in our lives and we just accept them as is. We accept allergies. We accept, rashes on our body. We accept the aging process too willingly. And I always encourage people, hey, look, you can make a change in your life, and it all starts with a decision. And it can be food. It could be food, food avoidance. It could be just drinking more water. It could be a better attitude. I mean, there's so many ways that you can impact and impart health and wellness into your day-to-day activities.
And it's not just about what you put in your body either. It's about,
what you don't put in your body.
What you don't put in your body. And I was going to say kind of as well.
Like Kurt's breakfast over here.
Hey, those are healthy cookies.
But here's the thing. You have decided not to put this in your body yet. And if you're listening on 99.5 FM, just listen to this rapper. And do you think this is healthy for you?
Those are some Lenny and Larry's cookies. They're healthy cookies, protein cookies. Anyways, I went to the gym this morning. I got to get my protein. I was going to say, also kind of being surrounded by positivity. I wanted to give a shout out to Ashley. She put me in a fantastic mood this morning because she actually posted in the Talk of League City group that Dr. Chapa was going to be coming on KHEA radio and that people should tune in. And I got banned again from posting in groups by Facebook. I got put in Facebook jail yesterday.
What happened?
I just want to say,
can that happen?
Kurt,
oh
yes.
yeah, I get put in Facebook jail at least
I have a
once
question.
every month.
You get put in Facebook jail. Have you tried not posting spam or breaking the Facebook law?
Hey, it's our giveaway videos. Those aren't spam.
I've seen you post actual pictures of spam. Like literal spam, like in a frying pan.
The spam, the meat.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Hey,
but I do want to say thank you, Ashley, because you put my spirits on high after I saw that was posted, and I couldn't even comment and say thank you how much I appreciated
so
that.
You're saying what you're saying is if we all work together, they can't put us all in Facebook jail.
I think that's true.
I mean, there's something to that. Well, good job, Ashley. Ashley is absolutely amazing. Always like to give shout outs to Ashley. She makes us look good and helps us just be a part of the community in really powerful ways. And so shout out to you, sister. It's always a blessing to have you on my team, and I couldn't do it without you. I appreciate you.
We do have a question.
Oh.
And I already answered it because...
Go ahead.
Well, it says, what is the ideal body fat percentage? I said 3. 3%. 3% body fat. You're in competition.
10.
Well, you got to remember, so when we do caliper measurements, right?
Yes.
People's body fat is going to be one thing. But in our office, one of the things that we do is we do a bioimpedance analysis. And it's a machine. Basically, people have heard of InBody. They've heard of bioimpedance. They have machines or little scales where you can step on it and it can run current through the system. Well, that's the whole idea, is looking at the body from a whole. And so in body fat percentage is different, male and female, a little bit higher in female, a little bit lower in the male. And so it's based on your height, it's based on your weight, it's based on your age, it's based on your overall vitality and your metabolic system. But what we know is that ideal for men should be, between 17 and 21% would probably be a fair average.
You're okay.
And in females it might be 20 to 24%. But when we're heavier than that, those are things that we want to start working metabolically on. When we are in our youth, we have a lot of brown fat, energetic fat. The older we get, that stuff shifts into what we call storage fat, the non-metabolic fat. It's the fuel that drives metabolism, but it's really stored energy because we're not active enough. And I've said it a number of times. The spine in the body is as youthful and vibrant as it's ever going to be at 25 years old, and then it starts to make this maturity shift decline where it begins to harden. And all tissues in the body begin to harden. So, our ligaments aren't as pliable. We can't take as many falls as we did when we were little. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're talking about brown fat. Is there such a thing as baby fat? Because you hear people say that, like, oh, I still have my baby fat.
I would say that's probably the brown
same thing?
fat. Yeah, because
Okay.
it's very metabolically active. I mean, think of a baby. I mean, they're developing. They're evolving. Their bones are elongating. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not a. I mean, we underestimate like how
The human body.
how amazing that is. That its bones are getting longer, bones are getting thicker, and as a child, you don't. The reason they bounce is because they're literally soft tissue. I mean,
Yeah.
the bones are not. I mean, I was watching this kid play soccer, and he stepped in like a little pothole, and I saw his leg bend in a way that wasn't real, and he just got out of the hole, shook his leg off, and kept running. And if I did that, I'd be still out there
Down and out.
whining.
Did you see the video yesterday? Was it yesterday or over the weekend? That Auburn gymnast, she like broke both of her legs. She was tumbling and landed and just broke them. She retired, but
I'm sure she did retire after
Thank
that.
you for sharing.
But, I mean, but here's the deal. Like,
just
yeah,
reminded me of it.
But how old is that? Was that person?
she was in college. She went to Auburn University.
19, 20.
Yeah. So I mean, think about it. I mean, but when you have a severe break like that, she's really close to that age. Now, people always, and I will say this too. Age is only a number, and I think our attitude really drives that. But we are aging. I mean, and so it's how we age and how we can stay active. How I like to say is, if the dude don't move, the dude don't groove. So we've got to be every day willing to do things to invest into our lifestyle, into our health and wellness. So we want to do joint mobility programs. I mean, non-weight bearing, light weight bearing activities that don't involve like a heavy endurance exercise protocol, to kind of wash the dishes, so to speak, to clean out the joints. The joints don't get good blood flows. They get hydrated through movement. And people just aren't moving enough. And a lot of these movement patterns are easy. Nikolai Amosov is a 95-year-old cardiologist that I follow, and he says that, some of this stuff is so easy, but nobody will do it because we have this mindset that it's got to be no pain, no gain. Mm-hmm. And we don't realize that even the simplest of things can create motion and drive health and wellness into our body and drive toxins and stuff out of our body. And so choices every day is how we play the game. What are you eating for breakfast? What do you drink? How much water do you drink a day? Do you drink water throughout the day, or are you just, living on rocket fuel, which would be like your caffeine products, your energy drinks, your 24-hour energies, or are you, skipping the water because you quote unquote don't like it? Well, let's talk about ways to get you to start incorporating water as a tool. I mean, I got a book in the back of my office. It's 427 pages of the body's many cries of water, and how this medical doctor went around and all he did was treat patients with water. And, acid reflux, water, headaches, migraines, water, rashes, water,
Drink
high
more
blood
water.
pressure, water. I mean, it was wild, the stories that he would share. And the reality is we need to drink more water.
Mm-hmm.
We need another stat that would be a good follow-up to that question about body fat is, what is the ideal intracellular water composition should that be? In a male, it should be 60 to 63%. In a female, it should be 57 to 60%. When we're born, we're like 70%. But as we age and get older, the cells can actually dehydrate, wither away like a raisin, and they don't communicate well to their neighboring cells. And so what we want to do is we want to get the mineral levels up in the body. We want to get your water levels up in the body, and that makes the cells more electrically active. That means when the brain says jump, or the brain says do, the body says okay and gets it done.
So let me ask a question. You're talking about the cell being like 60-something% like hydrated with water. Whenever you were saying like the intercellular,
Yeah, it's like
whatever.
a plump, juicy grape.
I got it right in my head.
Yeah.
Or you can be a shriveled. Your cells
Prune.
can literally be a shriveled prune, being like, "Hey, I'm thirsty. I need something."
Ding, 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 ding.
Gotcha.
Gardy's got it. And who wants to be a shriveled grape, guys? None of us. We all want to be plump.
I want to be that plump raisin.
Not plump grape.
Plump grape. I don't want to be the raisin.
I
That's what
don't
I
think
meant.
a plump raisin.
A plump raisin is a grape.
That's right. There you go.
Hey,
There you go.
a couple things. You were mentioning earlier about about working out and no pain, no gain. Sometimes people think like, oh, I got to be hurting to be able to be like making progress. And that reminded me of something Curt had said the other day. You know, you shared about working out last year. You were hurting every day.
I was like, my legs
almost
were
hurting yourself.
I was having like shin splints constantly, and I have a bad hamstring. I still do. I notice it today, like even when I'm walking.
I can tell by looking at you, got a bad hamstring.
Well, but we want to change your verbiage. So if you talk to Grandmaster Garza, he says you have a good, and you have an awareness of, you know, muscles. You're aware of one of your hamstrings. And so that awareness means you got to work on it. So we don't want to call it bad. I mean, it's not bad. It just might need a little more work.
Yeah. It's funny to me, too, because I was thinking about Thursday. Do you remember Thursday? We went and worked down at Sammy Grace's Fitness in
It was
Lake
a good time.
City.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. They're one of our
Yeah,
partners
you look
here at
like you were like red in the face and like.
Well, he had a good glisten, a good sweat, and he had a good.
It was great.
It was like almost like an interesting glow. Going back and looking at the
That's
video.
awesome.
But the crazy part is that I went back at 6 o'clock. I got home after working all day, and I crashed for 12 hours. I slept 12 hours.
So I'll comment to that. So there's a couple things that you mentioned, right? Shin splints. Is that a good sign or a bad sign?
Bad sign.
That's a sign that something went wrong, right?
Right.
So shin splints are mineral deficiencies. That means your body's overused your mineral levels, and you didn't have enough mineral reserve to accommodate that activity, and you wore out the tissue, and it gave you a sign and symptom that the body was weak in an area. So if you would have had more calcium, more magnesium, more manganese, you would have seen that workout not affect you that way. 1. 2, if you do a workout and you find yourself sleepy, like you said, 12 hours after, that means that you train too hard. Like your body isn't fit enough.
You got to work your way into it, right?
Here's the funny part, though, is I got done with that workout, and I'm not saying anything bad about this, but I didn't feel like I worked.
Curt, if you look at the video, you worked.
But
I
I
mean,
didn't
look at your
feel
sweat.
like it.
I think that's a good thing. But even last year, you're used to working too hard to the point where you're like, I can't.
Right,
move.
like I felt like, you know, a year ago when I did those workouts at Get Fit Nutrition, I was dying afterwards. Like I was dead.
So
like I had to lay on the ground.
When I was so there was a season where like I did, like the trainer that I was using he would always put us on a bike, right?
Okay.
And he would, for 30 minutes, he'd make you bike, and so you get bored of just being on a bike, so you start playing games and see how many calories you can burn in 30 minutes. Well, one day I got up to like 400 calories, you know, in 30 minutes, which was, you know, working it. And I can't remember if I got higher than that. I think I might have once, but 400 calories gave me headaches at the end of. I mean, like my body was not happy with my burning that many calories in a 30-minute session, and then following up with a weight training routine.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that you can always assess is listen to the body. The body knows. And so if you do a workout, it's kind of like food. Food should energize you. It should revive you. If it makes you sleepy, if it gives you a headache, if it makes you rashy, if it makes you stinky, you know, then that something isn't going through and being processed like it's supposed to in the body. Exercise is the same way. Now, I'm all for pushing yourself, but you've got to listen to your body. If your body is overworked, then you're going to crash at the end of it, or have that crashing is your body trying to make sure other vital systems don't malfunction. It's putting you down. Well, but when we live in this unrealistic, overly productive society where we got to go time all the time, we don't have time to sleep for 12 hours, you know?
Yeah, I'm trying to get a hold of him to seal up some plans for the next morning. We got early morning, and he's
Out cold.
He's out of commission. You know, 11 o'clock, he texts me one thing back, and it's just like, I'm dead. And I was like, what happened? Are you okay? Like, no, you need to be okay. Like, we don't have time for this. KHEA radio
goes on.
doesn't stop.
That's
We
right.
can't stop.
It was the craziest thing. I have never slept like that before in my life. It was nuts.
Not even as a baby?
I don't think so. 12 hours?
That's like my son. My son is 6, and he needs like 12 hours of sleep. No joke.
I had a patient come in with chronic fatigue, and one of the therapies we were fortunate to do with her is her husband was willing to do this. I mean, this lady was pretty bad. Chronic fatigue, I mean, completely wiped out. She had no energy throughout the day. She felt absolutely miserable. She was depressed. She was run down. And her husband said, "Hey, look, go to our parents. They've got a place up in the country, and if that's what Dr. Chapa says is to get rest, let's get you some rest. I'll look after the kids." For 30 days, she stayed up there, and for the first week, so no kids, no responsibilities. She got a little vacation from adulting, which, who wouldn't want that? But she said that she slept for 18 hours a day for a week. And then the second week, she slept for 12 hours. And then the third week, she slept for 8 hours. And then at the end of that, her body caught up, if you will, on all that sleep. That's why we go back to, if you're not sleeping well, you're not healing. Your body's not detoxing. Your body's not regenerating. You're running on fumes, and it will catch up to you. Some of my sickest patients that come in, no offense to the shift workers, but my shift worker people, if either in nursing, doctoring, or in the plants, that shift work lifestyle is really hard and taxing on the body. And so we're constantly working on ways to give them quality sleep when they get it, and give them quality minerals to recharge and regenerate their tissues, because their body is not regulating on a normal wake-sleep cycle.
Here's a comment. This is from Rendy. It says, a 30-day vacation? Sign me up.
Rendy, I'm in, baby. I absolutely 100%. I want it. I mean, but the reality is we don't always get that, and that's I think some of the challenge. Mark Victor Hansen, one of the co-founders with Jack Canfield and the Chicken Soup for the Soul series, made a comment. He was a very successful businessman that every 4 weeks he takes a week off. Well, I mean, who wouldn't want that? But you got to wonder if we do have an unrealistic work-life balancing act that we're all doing, and that we're constantly all pulled in with our cell phones and social media and technology, trying to keep up with, promotions and this, that, and the other. It is exhausting, and it's not always realistic to be everything to all people. I mean, I got people right now that need a phone call back, and I have to choose who do I call, because I got so many emails and I got so many phone messages that are what I would classify as important, over urgent, or urgent maybe and important. I mean, you gotta juggle it. You've got to get it straight, and it's really confusing. And we are constantly working at balancing life, and that's part of this game. And nobody gets enough vacation time.
Yeah, is that why you never text us back or call us? I'm just kidding.
Maybe.
We see you every week, and we have a great time. We have a great time with you in every Tuesday.
I just have to say this, that we Ashley just commented on here and said I get 8 hours of sleep minimum, right? And she works for you, right, Chapa?
Yeah.
So I don't have 8 hours in my day to sleep because I have Gardy as my boss. Can I work for you instead?
Yes, I have plenty of videos, and I have
no
plenty
sleep.
Of things that you could do for me to help me create. What's going on?
We just
I
had.
feel like I'm being ambushed.
Yeah, you want some coffee, Dr. Chapa? We have some artificial rocket fuel for you. Actually, this is for me.
So that's so funny.
It's new.
Normally, y'all are just sucking down like energy drinks, but
now
today,
we're double fisting.
and you're about to put dairy and like.
We started double fisting. We started double fisting
over your.
Well, Dr. Chapa,
y'all need to be patience in mind. This is getting out of hand.
I was trying to come in last week, but then you said you were sending me to one of your other coworkers, and I was like, I only have time for Chapa.
I don't know that I have the luxury of watching you sprinkle chlorine all into your coffee.
So this all started. So last
Are y'all
week,
torturing me?
No. So last week we had Rick Clapman, who came in from the Bay Area Houston Magazine, and I was like, "Can I get you anything?" And he said, "Yeah, can you get me some coffee?" And I was like, "Well, we've never done coffee for anybody, but for you, sir, we'll go find coffee."
Dr. Chapa's face. Okay,
And
Dr.
so,
Chapa, as a gift to you, I'm not going to use this.
Anyways, so I go out and I get coffee. Well, I bring back coffee, and there was 3 coffees, but there was 2 guests and myself, and so I'm drinking coffee. Gardy gets upset, and Gardy complains, and he's like, Where's my coffee?
Curt brought coffee for everybody but me, and there's like 10 people in here, and he's like, okay, coffee for you. I feel like I was in Mean Girls, and none for Gardy Garcia.
Miss Joanne, who
and
was
you were
like, really?
Curt was the mean girl.
Yeah,
huh?
Curt was the mean girl to me.
So Miss Joanne, who is our lovely assistant at the front office over here for the church and also for the radio station.
An angel from the Lord.
An angel from the Lord. Gardy complained and was like, I didn't get coffee. So now every day she's been bringing us coffee and making us coffee.
She's an absolute gem,
right?
Isn't she?
And even
she is. She truly
even
is.
on days when Choppa's in studio, she's gonna bring us. So we appreciate. We appreciate this. It's a sign
was
from
just
God.
okay. Well, at least I understand what's going on. I mean, you know what? I'm gonna give a shout out to Main Squeeze, Jeff. I'm coming to get some juice after this. Because I need to put some healthy goodness and power
Choppa,
shots into my.
Did you tell Jeff last time you went and talked to him and said Curt misses you and he need to return his phone call?
I will make that happen today. 'Cause I'm
Okay.
gonna go over there, and I'll also when I see him today, it's on.
Speaking of, okay, so changing the topic from coffee because it's a heated conversation right now. Main Squeeze, right?
Get it? Heated conversation, coffee.
Heated conversation. Main Squeeze. Talk a little bit about why you like going to Main Squeeze and why that's a good substitute for people who are looking for a healthy alternative to eating.
So,
I feel like eating's healthy too.
I was gonna say, well, we gotta reframe that question a bit. So, Main Squeeze is a non-pasteurized what you eat.
Yeah.
A non-pasteurized way of juicing that doesn't put any sugar into their, no fillers, no junk, so to speak, in the form of preservatives or processing or pasteurization into their food. And so they juice things in their in-house here in Webster, Texas. And like one of the drinks that I like, it's the Power, and it's 6 pounds of produce that makes the juice. And so it's a great way to, like, if you have a really big meal, one of the things that they can do over there is you can incorporate a juice a day to get started, or you can do their juice cleanse and go juice from, morning, lunch to dinner, and then have a meal at dinner, and you will find that your body gets a rest and a vacation from digesting. I mean, anybody ever thought about talk about vacations? Do you think your digestive tract needs a vacation?
Seems like it could.
I mean, it seems like it could, especially because right now the average American has about 11 to 15 meals caked up inside of them. And these 11 to 15 meals caked up inside of them are not serving you. They're rotting inside your belly. And this is, our intestines are our sewer system. And if our sewer system is clogged up, it backs up into our metabolic, cleansing system, our liver. Then that backs up into the lymph system, and now we can get immunologically infected, or we can have infections. And then simultaneously, the message is sent from the liver up to the thyroid to say, thyroid, slow down. And then the thyroid metabolism slows down, and guess what happens? You feel sluggish. Your hair starts falling out. You start gaining weight because your body can't process the toxicity in the sewer. And so we've got to take time to digest, or rest and digest. And so doing a juice feast for 7 days, 5 days, 3 days is a way that you can give your body a break from digestion and cleanse from the processed preservative nature of our society today, where we're constantly inundated in eating junk food, candies, processed food, preservative fake foods. And remember, if you eat make-believe food, the best you'll ever have is
make-believe health.
That's right, Gardy, you got it. And so we always want to be pushing people to eating better and cleaner. Well, one of the things I've had patients that don't like vegetables, I send them over to the Main Squeeze, and they start incorporating these vegetables, so to speak, hidden vegetables in the juices that they make, and then their palate begins to change. And so if I can help people develop a better palate, guess what's going to happen?
Their health
is going to get better because they're going to start incorporating better vegetables into their day-to-day living. And the average American right now only eats 1 to 3 servings of vegetables a week. And I know that some of you guys out there just say that's no way because I'm eating 6 to 11 a day or whatever. But there are people, and the majority of the masses are only eating 1 to 3 vegetables a week, and we've got to get that number up to 6 to 11 servings a day.
Stacy has a question. She said even just doing a juice cleanse 1 day a week helps, right? Does that help?
Absolutely, it helps. And I think that, every little bit allows the body to perform better than what you were doing, putting in tons of processed food. And it's like fasting. One of my friends has always been a big advocate for fasting. For 25 years he's been doing this, and on the 15th of every month he fasts. Doesn't matter if it's a birthday, doesn't matter if it's an anniversary, doesn't matter, whatever's going on. The 15th of every month, no matter what's going on, he takes a fasting day, and he gives his body a break. And so give your body a break. Give your body a break from processed food. So take 7 days and get off of rocket fuel. I got a couple right now that just started last Monday. They went on a vacation, then they went on a cruise, then they went on basically a little binge fest where they were just eating poorly, and then they said, you know what, we're done. On April 1st, we're getting on the wagon. And so guess what they did? They got on the wagon, and now they're a week and a half into no alcohol, no sugar, no processed food, and they're going through they had their first 4 days of like detox reactions, but nothing liver drainage and lymphatic drainage support that we offer at our office couldn't manage. So no headaches, no fatigue, no diarrhea, none of that stuff, but a way of getting rid of the processed food and feeding the body with nutrients from supplementation and detox programs that we can drive health while your body is taking these rest and vacation. And then you're going to see energy come back. You're going to see mental clarity come back. You're going to see headaches go away. You're going to see symptom patterns that you were not genetically born with begin to kind of fall by the wayside. And it never ceases to amaze me. I never take it for granted when I see people suffering with symptom patterns like headaches or high blood pressure or belly pain or whatever it is, and they've suffered for months or years, and then they come in, we go through these programs, and they start feeling better. And
right.
And it's just it's a beautiful thing.
Right now it's 9:09. This is KHEA Radio.com, 99.5 FM. It's Kickstart. We are giving away some passes to go throw some axes at Axe Masters Texas, located in League City, Texas. Thank you to Axe Masters for donating those to us so we can give them to you. If you haven't had the opportunity to go throw some axes, it could be the perfect opportunity for you to go bond with your family, have a good time, maybe have a girls' night out, guys' night out. I know they have like first responders, appreciation days, all kinds of stuff going on over there. It's a brand new business.
Yeah, the nice thing about these passes is it's for 2 people of up to 2 hours, and we have 3 of those, so we're going to pick 3 winners on tomorrow's show. So make sure if you tune in right now that you like, share, and comment. Tell a friend, tag a friend, and tell them about this giveaway, because maybe if they win, they'll take you, and you can have that agreement, right?
I like that.
Yeah.
Curt, if you share it and you win, you're taking me, right? And if I share it and I win, I'm taking you.
Yeah, I'll tell you yes, but then I'll probably change my mind after
Why?
I win.
That's messed up.
Sorry.
That's messed up. But, as long as you have an agreement with someone else like that, just don't go back on your word. And go throw some axes. It's a good, clean, fun opportunity, and make sure you go check them out. Right now, we do have Dr. Chop in studio. If you're sharing this out because you want to win some axes, I promise you, there's somebody on your Facebook friends list that's going to come across this video, start listening, and then they may have their life changed forever. This could be the best day of their life. They're going to stumble across this and never be the same. And that's what we like to do. We like to spread positivity, spread awareness that there's a better way to live than how you currently are. You don't have to be stuck on the medications, the pills, get that surgery. Why not look at an alternative?
That's right. And I had a patient just this morning. I was responding to an email. She's been off the wagon for a week. She's got a pretty nasty history of diagnoses, so it's not an easy case by any stretch. But we had her balanced and stable. She went to a wedding shower. Then she followed that wedding shower up by taking some of the desserts home, and then she did that the next day. And then Monday comes and she says, "I'm dying, like something's not right in my body, my blood pressure's through the roof, and her bottom number was normal, her top number was 180, and I'm like, it's food allergy. And so you could, and she went to the ER, of course. They ruled out all the EKGs with the EKG and made sure that she wasn't having a heart attack, she wasn't having a stroke, and they put her on blood pressure medication, which I frankly she didn't need to do, because the reality is it would have been 3 days and that food allergy would have worn off if she would just get off of stuff. And guess what? She responded back and said, okay, I got it. And then so she's going to go 3 days. She's going to keep monitoring her blood pressure every day. And blood pressure is going to go back through the floor, and she's going to start feeling good on day 4. And that's what happens. I see this over and over again, where food drives our body into a sickness state. And if we can get people to realize that they're in control of their health more than they realize, if we can get them eating breakfast, if we can get them, intermittent fasting is awesome, right? But I try to get people to make sure that they eat breakfast and eat lunch and then fast dinner. Mm-hmm. It goes to my model of eat like a king for breakfast, eat like a prince or princess for lunch, and eat like a peasant or a beggar for dinner. And so if you're going to use some of these therapies that are floating around out on the social media world, let's use them according to the way the body is designed. We're to have our biggest meal when our stomach is most active, and that's from 7 to 9 a.m.
Whenever I wake up in the morning and I have breakfast, if I have breakfast like at 9 and I eat a big one, I'm not going to be hungry till like 2 or 3 o'clock.
And that's fine. I mean, the reality is that we eat too much. I mean, we consume too much for the amount of activity. I mean, some people...
I'm intrigued.
Some people, go exercise and burn off calories and stuff. But, I mean, really, we aren't moving enough to eat as frequently and as volume as much as we do.
I'm the complete opposite when it comes to breakfast. If I don't eat breakfast, I could go literally all day without eating anything. But the minute I eat breakfast, I have to have lunch.
When was the last time you skipped breakfast to test out this theory?
Right now.
The breakfast is
I'm
in
not
his
even
hand.
hungry right now.
But hang on. That's not fair, though, because you got an energy drink sitting in front of you and you got coffee in front of you. Of course you're not going to be hungry. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you're jacked on rocket fuel.
Tell him, Dr. Chapa.
I mean, it's not... I mean, so for me, right?
People don't listen. What we're talking about over here.
You have two, too.
And so, I'm just saying.
Gardy's like,
I'm just
these
saying.
people, and then he's like over there, me too.
if we... Wouldn't it be nice to be so in control of your lifestyle that you wouldn't have to have coffee day in and day out? I mean, I'm not saying it's bad, okay, whatever. But it is bad when we put sugar, when we put artificial sugars, we put creamer, when we put all the junk in it, right? I always ask, do you like coffee or do you like sugar? I'm like, oh, I definitely like sugar, and I just sprinkle a little coffee on it. And I'm like, oh, well, it should be the other way.
Curt, are you going to behave if I turn your mic back on? All right. I'm going to give you back your privilege. Don't ruin this again, okay? Here you go. You're welcome.
I won't sing anymore. I was going to say, but for me, I don't like Bang because of the sugar or because of,
I've been with you guys for almost 7 months, and I've never heard you use those words.
I don't like Bang for that.
What?
I like Bang because it tastes good. I like Bang because it tastes good.
What do you think
and
makes it taste good?
It refreshes my throat.
You sound like your mom. You're turning into your mom, which I love. You sound like your mom right now. How does that make you feel?
Don't ever say. That's the biggest insult ever.
She's a very nice lady. It's 9:15. This is KHEA.com, 99.5 FM. Share this video out, like, comment, and you'll have the opportunity to win some passes to go throw some axes at Axe Masters in League City. We do have Dr. Aaron Chapa in studio answering all your questions. Right now, we're a little on caffeine. We're a little bit on juicing, cleansing, and a little bit on whatever you're asking us questions on.
Well, and yeah, we're kind of all over the place today. I don't know what's going on.
It's
Taco
because
Tuesday.
we're good.
Yeah,
No, it's because
there's so much to talk about when it comes to health. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know what I mean? And I'll tell you, in the simple, when people come in, 80% of all their health complaints all come from the gut, and it comes from what we're putting in the gut. If we can get people to put better quality food in their body and to understand that volume matters, the intake of abundance is overconsumption is never good. Gluttony is never good. If we start utilizing principles and realize that, we can overcome the flesh. I mean, that's what we talk about spiritually all the time, like don't give into the flesh so much. And if we stopped giving in to some of these ways of living and pleasuring ourselves, food is obviously a big pleasure that people enjoy. I mean, I have patients that come in all the time. I had a guy that we did some emotional work last week, and he looks back in his life and he says every good memory he had with his parents who have now passed on were always associated with food, and he has an eating problem. You know what I mean? So he had to go back and realize that, disassociate from that and say, all right, I appreciate that, those experiences, but I don't have to abuse myself going forward to recreate that pleasure. And so there's an emotional component, there's a toxicity component, there's a structural component, there's a biochemical component to all of us living our best life. And at Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center, we're a focus on finding which one of those areas need to be addressed. Do you work or live near, refineries and need to be detoxed more frequently of chemicals and metals? And are you finding that your liver's congested and you have allergies all the time and the environment's kicking your butt? Curt?
Hey, Kurt's boil's almost gone on his nose, which is nice.
Yeah.
How's that feeling?
I don't know what it is still. It just disappears.
He already told you what it was.
It's infection, dude, coming out of your head. Rudolph.
Ooh. Oh, no.
Wow.
Kurt, you okay?
Wow.
I don't like Kurt.
I didn't know we resulted to name calling on this.
I'm sorry. Right. We're a positive radio station.
Christian radio station.
Why has Rudolph got to be negative? Like
It's a compliment.
He was the He was the one.
He's the star of the show.
Saved Christmas.
I stopped picking it. I stopped picking it and it started disappearing.
I don't like Kurt when he's double fisting energy drinks.
I like what Ashley has proposed. What if you guys did a no rocket fuel challenge for 2 weeks?
We said we needed a harder challenge than that. That's too easy for us.
Well,
here's what we can do. So it's 6 weeks till summer. I think we can get Kurt down to like 20% body fat.
I am already 20% body fat.
Next summer. I
eat 20% of my body fat every day.
If he diets now till next summer, maybe we could get him down.
Dang.
Hey,
what a rude.
Well, I mean, there's so many easy ways. You don't have to make it a diet. Remember the first 3 letters in die or die. Nobody enjoys it.
Diets always start on Monday.
But and at least if you start it, and fall off, if you're starting over Monday, here we are,
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
I always say diets start tomorrow.
And tomorrow will never come.
Dr. Chop, but do you notice Kurt talks like when he's double fisting these drinks, he can't be quiet. Like you're talking, I'm like, let the man talk.
You guys are loose cannons this morning. I mean, but that's what happens. Y'all are proof of what I'm saying. Y'all's neurons are exploding.
But would you rather have
control
this
your frontal lobe
than like somber Kurt?
No, I much rather have a more engaged Kurt, just one that has a frontal lobe that's engaged.
My frontal lobe is here.
So here's what we can do. So Ashley is proposing a 2-week, I guess, no artificial rocket fuel
starting
challenge.
next Monday.
And I think we would be able to maybe do something. We can maybe do something like that. So we'll see.
Absolutely.
We'll talk to her more about it and get that figured out. You think what's that going to do for us? I mean, we've done these kind of things before, but what kind of changes? Cutting caffeine out, what are we going to see happen?
Here's what you're going to have more minerals in your body that can come in and actually do restoration and healing. So some of it, just getting off caffeine might not be the very thing that you needed. I mean, really, if I was talking to Kurt as a patient, just kind of knowing a little bit about him, I would say a dairy-free challenge would be more beneficial for him. That would be milk, cheese, yogurt, sour cream, ice cream, whey protein, pulling all of those things out of his diet for 2 weeks. Oh, yeah, Jennifer's over there saying, what? Did he just say? That's like blasphemy. I know. And look, guys, food allergies are a huge problem. I mean, we are consuming wheat, we're consuming tortillas, we're consuming all this processed gluten into our bodies. It's hybridized gluten. It's gluten that's got preservatives and pesticide, herbicides thrown on top of it. I mean, it's really inundated as a processed food that we're having to question whether or not it's actually real food or not. So it falls into potentially the make-believe food leads to make-believe health. There you go, Kurt. And then dairy, I could speak for days about all the aftermath that dairy is going to cause sluggishness in the lymphatics. It's going to cause, potentially headaches, sinus infections, earaches. I have a little kid right now, 9 or 12 months old, and, came in with ooze flowing out of his ears. Not because of tubes, but because of infection. And his body couldn't drain out his normal, healthy exit channels. And one of the things that we found is he had a sensitivity to about 9 different foods. And so at our office, we went through and found those foods out, took her off those foods, and guess what? We went.
No problems?
His ears are 90% better, and he's getting better. But it's taken us about 4 months, and it's taken his little body time and he's been on, like, I don't know, he's, like I said, 9 to 12 months, so he's been on at least 12 antibiotics. And that's a lot of blowing up the gut at a young age, and we're going to have to restore that gut, and it's going to take time. So we have to give the body time to heal, and we've got to stop poisoning the body so that it can heal. So we pick and find what would be the best thing for the patient. So to say that everybody needs to go on a rocket fuel free challenge is a great first step if that's what you're willing to do. But what if we found and we evaluated your case and said, you know what would be better for you is to go on a grain-free diet because maybe you got blood sugar challenges. Maybe your adrenals are overstressed and you're tapped, or you're postpartum and you're like feeling the depression, you're feeling the stuff. KHEA Jr., where's he been?
He wore him yesterday. Hey, something that Curt shared, and this was a pretty cool post. It was a graphic, and if you saw the graphic moving, then it was like a stress test. So I think a lot of people are stressed. Whenever I came to your office last year, you did some tests, and it was like, hey, are you like high strung or like stressed out? And I think a lot of people are. Like whenever you looked at that graphic, what did you see?
I just saw a little bit of movement, but the funny thing is this morning when I woke up,
I'm gonna find it.
I didn't. I was just looking to bring that up as well.
Yeah, I'll find it.
But I didn't see
the movement like you did yesterday, because first thing in the morning, I feel like the stress would be low because you're not.
It's moving now. It's a carousel now.
It's because you've been double fisting energy drinks like a savage, Curt. You're an animal.
What is that?
Here, I'll show him. So it's a little graphic. It says, if the image is still, you're calm. If the image moves a bit, you're stressed. If it moves
so
like a carousel, you're very
moving.
stressed.
It wasn't moving at all for me. Like, so I see nothing. I see it, but I don't see.
So
any...
it's a picture. It's not a video. It's a picture.
Hey, it's still for me right now.
As a picture. Mine's moving just a little bit right now.
If the dude don't move, the dude don't groove.
Yeah,
so just remember that.
Apparently, I need to get it moving. So
it also depends on where you look at on the image. I found.
I'm looking at it at several different angles, and it just,
because if I look at the ball, it doesn't move, but if I look over in the bottom right-hand corner, it moves.
Yeah, so it's a little stress test, just a little way to check out some stuff. But a lot of people are probably stressed.
Oh my gosh! I mean, we could open up a whole nother can of worms, and we should. So stress is the secret killer. I mean, I love the conversation. I hate the conversation because we can always say, "Oh, Gardy, you're stressed. Oh, you're a student, you're stressed. Oh, you're working 2 jobs, you're working shift work, you're stressed. You got kids, you're stressed. You're married." I had a guy say the other day, he goes, "You're stressed." You know what I mean? So we can always pawn the stress card to everything. But here's what we can say: stress is a real problem. And when stress levels on a 0 to 10 scale are a 7, 8, 9, or a 10 for you, you need support. And we integrate and intervene support heavily whenever the stress load is at a 7, 8, 9, or 10, because when the stress load is a 7, 8, 9, or a 10, your body's in what we call a fight or flight response, and your body is overreacting. It's not working at resolving an issue or responding to challenges. It's reactionary. So we want to get the stress below a 7 into the 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1 zone. And that's what we do with our stress protocols in our office. And when we put people into a stress protocol, we're down-regulating cortisol. Because what happens with cortisol is one of those hormones that when it goes up, it shuts off all fat-burning potential. And so if you're trying to lose weight, or if you're trying to balance your blood sugar, you don't want cortisol off the map too high. And so we go in and we regulate stress using herbs and nutrients to calm the body down. We give the body brain support to handle stress. We give the adrenals food to deal with and manage the stress. And we give the body breaks to calm down and be calm, cool, and collected so that you can work through the stress. And that makes people feel better to work through their day.
That's very interesting. You know, Jennifer is here with us, and as you listen to all of this, do you have any thoughts or any questions? And I also want to say, Curt must really like you because he offered you some of his cookie, and he has never done that to anybody in the history of anything. So,
well, I feel very honored to get offered a cookie. I'm very, very grateful for that. No, I think all the health tips are very helpful. Honestly, like we kind of go through life and we think, oh, am I doing things right? Am I doing things wrong? We all have our own opinions of what we think of ourselves, or we judge ourselves a certain way, and we think, what's really the right way to live life? Like, instead of like being a certain weight or a certain size, it's like, no, it's however your body is, that's how healthy you should be. It doesn't determine everybody else's health. But yeah, I think the health tips are awesome.
We may replace Curt, which that was like a little.
That's the most that any intern has ever said on the.
I mean, and eloquent. I mean, very nice.
Perfect. By the way, if you haven't met Jennifer, this is our new intern. She is going to be joining us on Tuesdays.
Woohoo!
Super excited, and then also we'll be hopefully doing some more like stuff during the week. We're going to be working on some solutions to that. So if you see Jennifer commenting along, it's our new intern. So say hi.
Hey, we are also giving away some passes to Axe Masters. Don't forget, like, share, comment, and you'll have the opportunity to go throw some axes with a friend. Go take a team and have a good time.
We were just talking about stress with Dr. Chapa, and I have to say, how cool would it be to chop some wood or to throw some stuff? Can activities like that also help? Not just what you eat, but kind of activities, being active. You know, one of the things that I've noticed, you know, I've worked out 3 times since last Thursday, and my allergies are actually better from working out.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that is.
I'll tell you.
Okay, go for it.
So when you exercise, when the dude moves and grooves, guess what happens? Your lymphatics start to move. And congestion in the body is what causes people to have symptoms. So that could be congestion in the lymphatics. That could be congestion in the bowel. That could be congestion in the liver. That could be congestion in the kidneys. So when we work on patients, we find that we always have to support these secondary exit channels to create movement patterns. We want the body to move internally as much as we want it to move and groove outside productively. And so when you start exercising, you're doing a form of lymphatic drainage. And so the drainage now begins to go down into the sewer system, and then you're pushing the sludge through the bowel, and all of a sudden the lymphatics aren't draining and backflowing up into your sinus cavities. And so I like axe throwing. I like chopping wood activities as opposed to like things in the gym. Not that I don't like going to the gym myself. I get a lot of benefit from it when I go. But dynamically, I mean, what in life do we ever do that's a linear plane? Like, very few people are out pushing things around, right? That's what, your bench presses and push-ups and stuff. Very few things do we do doing pull-ups or pushing down like dips, or, swinging an axe, or, doing martial arts or doing yoga. Dynamic motions, real fluid activity creates a strong core. It creates a strong body. And so nothing against working out, but I like these ideas of people starting businesses around getting people to be active in different ways. And I think we need more of it, and I think we need to support it so we can keep it flowing. And I mean, no matter what your age and gender, just go have fun and see if you find that you have a secret, closet passion of throwing axes at wood or chopping wood. I got a buddy, he's a farmer out in Santa Fe, and this dude is just strong as a rock. I mean, he climbs trees, he's chainsaw stuff with one hand. I mean, probably not the safest things that he should be doing, but I mean, at the end of the day, he gives me a handshake, and I'm like, "Can you leave my bones where they were, please?"
Yeah, good grip.
They were aligned a moment ago, and so dynamic active motions are better than, I think, linear plain, unless you're injured and happen to do rehab and whatnot. I mean, there's always a place, so I don't want people to take it like, oh, I need to throw axes instead of go rehab my shoulder. No, you need, I mean, if you're damaged, you got to have rehab. And then once the rehab is done, then you can get back into what we call real activity. And real activity is doing things that engage multiple dynamics of muscle movement and structural biomechanics, as opposed to this just very focused linear plane.
I just noticed here, Holly was tuning in, and she first of all just said, Dr. Chapa is awesome, which we agree as well.
Thank you so much. That's great.
And then she said, I can tell y'all, since I started my lifestyle change / diet, I have felt so much better. Like, I have more energy and such since that. And then we asked her, kind of what she was doing, and she said, just watching my carbs, but I've been doing it since December 30th, and I'm down 64.6 pounds. Shout out. That's awesome.
Woohoo!
That's great.
That is beyond amazing. And guys, guess what? It is as simple as if you don't know where to start, you could start with breakfast. A better protein breakfast, like eggs and bacon, eggs and sausage, eggs and chicken sausage. You could have a salad and Euro meat. I know that sounds crazy, but I mean, food or mealtime is fuel time. You know, it doesn't have to be a pigeonholed. It has to be donuts. It has to be cookies. It has to be, whatever we're eating at snack time, mealtime, or from the day. We've just been trained and marketed to believe that breakfast is always what? Eggs or pancakes or biscuits or whatever. But you could start with just having a protein breakfast. You could start by logging your food and inventorying what it is that you do every day, and be honest with yourself, because you're only. I had a patient yesterday. She goes, I had to realize if I didn't put the cheese dip on there, I'm just hurting myself, because it doesn't hurt you if I eat cheese, and I'm like, you're right. It doesn't,
Wait, it doesn't?
Nope, you can eat cheese all you want. It ain't gonna hurt me a bit, as long as I don't eat it.
But what if you're around the person, they have the allergies, and then they're sneezing and just in a bad mood? Then it is hurting me. Like if Kurt's on that that dairy.
When he's in that state of mind, look at him over there. But where do you go from there? So what if it was just you were a little bit more advanced and you wanted just to start counting carbohydrates, like Holly was talking about? Just get your carbs below 60 grams a day. Because if we are overeating, if we're not eating enough vegetables, what we're doing is we're eating carbs, and those carbs are empty calories a lot of times, and they will drive blood sugar up. And when the blood sugar goes up, there's one hormone in the body that pulls blood sugar down. Anybody know what that is?
No.
Insulin.
I don't think we've ever talked about this. Yeah, no.
Yeah, so insulin pulls blood sugar back down, but when we overconsume carbs week after week, month after month, year after year, your body can look at a food or even think about a food, and it will estimate how much insulin it's going to produce. And what happens is it overproduces, and it starts to wear out the cell's ability to respond to the insulin. They call that insulin resistance.
So your body can spike different levels just from looking at food,
looking at it, smelling it. There's always a trigger that drives a response.
That's crazy.
This is the same thing with like diabetes, right?
But before it gets to that stage, this is the stuff that's happening.
Because they add insulin, right?
Yeah. Once diabetes kicks in, what has happened is their body has become resistant to insulin. So like insulin now doesn't have an effect on the body as much as it did in the past, or not affect at all, because it's so resistant, because it's so abundantly high. And the only way to get it to reverse, because think about what most diabetes is. Not type 1, we're talking about type 2. Type 2 diabetes is developed. So anything your body can develop, it can undevelop. And so the way you reprogram the body is we feed your adrenals, we feed your liver, we feed your pancreas, and we change the carbohydrate intake. So we get it below 60 grams a day. I'm not asking you to be keto. Keto's like 20 or 15. I'm talking just 60 grams a day. So a piece of bread is 15 grams. A baked potato is 50 to 55 grams, depending on which Google app pops up when I ask Siri. So if you ask Siri right now, how many grams of carbohydrates are in a donut, it'll give you an answer. It'll be like 30 grams or something. So that means 2 donuts is your daily allotment for the day of carbohydrate.
I ate 4 on Sunday.
You did?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm surprised.
How? Where'd you even find the money?
No,
4 donuts
at the church.
Remember? And biggest pet peeve ever for me. We go to church and we expect our kids to like sit still, but yet we fed them donuts prior to church. I mean, we give them a jolt of sugar and say sit, and we're like, right. I mean, nobody can do that. So this is the thing: is where do you begin? Well, in our office, we listen to your story and we lay out a game plan for a good place for you to take an action step forward. And that's what we're all about at our office. So we have fun and we make food fun because, so many times people say, oh, I want to go out to the party event. This is our party month for me. I got 6 birthdays, an anniversary to deal with this month. And so we're at this place called Urban Air in Pasadena on Sunday. And, I walked past the the pizza. I walk past the ices. I walk past all the stuff that I see everybody else, putting in. And so if you're one of these people that need to be watching the intake of what you're putting in your body, then you have to know when you go into those circumstances what you're going to be faced with. So prepare ahead of time. So, I got me a little treat from Main Squeeze after church before we went over there. And I felt like, their green protein was absolutely heaven for me. I do half of the banana, I elevate it with the cauliflower, then I put some almond butter in it, and it's like, it just makes my taste buds sweat. I love it. And most of the time when we're faced with sugar or we're faced with processed food, those are all chemically designed to entice your taste buds. Nothing below your taste buds wants to eat that stuff. Nothing. So what we want to try to get people to realize is we want you to recognize that food is fuel, food is your medicine, and if you're not feeling great right now, if you got symptom patterns, whether it's high blood pressure, whether it's headaches, whether it's belly pain, whether it's skin rashes, whether it's you can't sleep at night, whether it's you're depressed going through your day, you're just not happy, we have an answer to help get you started, and it's just to call our office, 281-554-8600, and we will lay out a game plan once we hear your story. And that's what we do. And we want people to be confident in all the staff that we have at our office and our doctors and our clinicians. And, Jennifer just got back from a great seminar this weekend talking about genetics and MTFHR and how these breakdowns in our genetic code. Your gene code, people blame so much of health problems on genes. But remember, your genes are just the gun. Your lifestyle choices is you pulling the trigger every day on which direction your health is going to go. Is it going to go up or is it going to go down? And we want you to always be making strides to move your health forward and to get healthy and stay healthy. And it is one bite at a time. And that's what Living Well is all about. That's what Jennifer's about. That's what Dr. Amber's about. And that's what I'm about. And we're just thrilled to have a team of people and you guys to support us in sharing that vision and helping sick people get well without drugs and surgery.
It's 9:39 a.m. This is KHEA Radio.com, 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. We're going to be on till 11 a.m. This is Dr. Aaron Chapa from Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center located in League City, Texas, not too far from Butler's Courtyard. Right there, there's you're surrounded by Mexican restaurants and a bunch of cool businesses over there.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Snow cone stand.
Dude, the League City, historical League City is just my favorite. I love everything about it. I can pretty much get to everybody, get to anywhere, and there's good local businesses that we all should be supporting. We got Natural Living right around the corner from Butler's. We got, Butler's Courtyard is a great venue for where we had our detox this past year, and Amber and her team over there are absolutely just gems of human beings. We love them. And we're very blessed to be in a historical League City and right across from, All About Plumbing and Quanah Joe's Snow Cone Stand. Come visit us. I always say that, Quanah Joe's is kind of like job security for me.
Just eating the sugar and ice. Yeah. Tastes good. Your body doesn't want it, but your taste buds like it.
I went over there one day and seriously, my kid wanted a snow cone, so I got him a snow cone. And I got a snow cone too. And guess what I didn't put on it? I just got the ice? I just got a ball of ice. It was good. They have really good shaved ice. I know, Kurt. I know. But look, not everybody's. I don't care. For me, it's fun.
Judge me if you want, but it was good.
Judge me if you want. I still had a good time.
Yeah. Can you share why health is so important to you?
So, when people come into my office, they always ask how I got into this stuff. Because I went to school to be a chiropractor, and I came out pretty much a clinical nutritionist. I was in. When I was 15, I was about 55 pounds overweight. And I had a girl make fun of me, and it really, crushed my spirit. So, as a vulnerable junior high kid, you can imagine, and everybody's got a story about junior high. Apparently, people, are mean in junior high. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. These hormones are going crazy, and people say things that they don't realize that, the whole sticks and stones can, and the words and stuff like that. Words do hurt, and so we carry these burdens and wounds, and I probably owe that gal, and I know who she is, and I see her, and I probably owe her a great bit of gratitude. She helped start my journey, whether she realized it or not. And then at 19, my dad passed away suddenly of a heart attack, and so that really spurred me to figure out like what the heck, because my dad was a good patient. Like he went to the rehab classes, he changed his diet, he's taking his drugs and doing all the stuff, and I would say, if I had any one comment to say about that as just a learning experience for anybody that's kind of that person, that they're doing all the right things, and you are a classic, candidate for having a heart attack or a stroke, teach your family what to do whenever you're in a crisis. Like if my dad and mom would have maybe taught me that nitroglycerin was actually a thing. I didn't know what that was. And, in an emergency, go grab this. Hindsight's always 20/20, right? I mean, they didn't know to teach me that stuff. And, but, when my dad's eyes were bugging out of his head, like I might have been able to help, and, but instead we had to wait, for the ER people to get there and do their thing. And it was just too late. And so that story led me into kind of going down that chiropractic road. It was an alternative view stance to, helping people without drugs and surgery. And I really felt like, there was a better way. And so when I got into school, there was a class I took called the Y-Files. And it was a class that was standing room only. It was a Saturday. It was 2 days. And these two doctors from out of state came in and they said, what do you guys want to learn? And one guy raised his hand and said, I want to learn about this, and I want to learn about that. And we literally went through the entire Merck manual: ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, anxiety, depression, infertility, sleep issues, allergies. I mean, you name it, we said it. And after an hour of going through that kind of diagnosis of what we want to learn for the class, he goes, all right, great. For the next 15 hours, we have a 16-hour class. For the next 15 hours, I'm going to teach you how to fix every one of these things without drugs and surgery. And you're going to walk out of this class and you're going to be light bearers for health and wellness. So I can be a light bearer for Jesus, and I can be a light bearer for health and wellness. And people don't realize that what you put in your body and what you're doing every day, your attitude every day matters. And you are in control more than you realize. And I want to help you orchestrate a plan of attack to get well. And on Monday, when I walked out of that seminar as a student, a guy with psoriasis walks up to me and goes, hey, can you help me? It's like I had a sign on my head that I can fix stuff. Well, psoriasis was one of the things that we talked about. And in 18 days, we took him from 6-7 years of suffering, maybe longer, to 80-90% remission, where he could take his kid swimming in a swimming pool without looking like a leper, because he literally had bleeding wounds, and people would get out of the pool because he look like he might contaminate things.
Yeah. Can anybody become a light bearer for like health and living?
I think
like
so.
This?
I mean, think about it. When people go on a detox, or supplement regimen, and you feel better than you did, people are going to start taking note. 64 pounds of loss, like Holly was talking about. People are taking note of, hey, Holly, what are you doing? And so if you've got allergies and then you don't have allergies, if you've got, sinus infections and the sinus infection goes away and you always get in sinus infections, or every year the allergies are killing you, but now they're not. And now people start taking note. Hey, you're not sniffing as much. Hey, you're losing weight. Hey, you look like you feel better. Hey, you look like you are performing in life and engaged and playing a part. Like, what is it that you got? You can say, well, hopefully you got Jesus, because he's the best multivitamin we need every day. And number two, you can say, and I'm also changing my lifestyle. I'm going to see Dr. Chapa. I'm going to see Jennifer. I'm going to see Dr. Amber. And they're at Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center, and they're helping us integrate good, healthy habits in a crazy world that is designed to market bad food and bad living to you. And so do I live perfect every day? No. But what I do is it's the 70-30 rule. At least do 70% of your day, 70% of your week, 70% of your month, 70% of your year is always moving forward, making good, healthy choices. And oftentimes you're always going to have a net positive effect moving forward in your health, in your productivity, in your symptom patterns, your aging process.
All right, so we got a little bit of time left. If anybody has any questions, whether you're listening on 99.5 FM, you're watching on our Facebook stream, you can text us 346-704-1806. If you're watching on Facebook, feel free to ask some questions. This is an opportunity for you to have your questions answered right here live on the radio, to have your voices heard. We've had people reach out to us and say, hey, I always watch on Tuesday when Dr. Chop is there, because then I can get my questions answered and I can still have time to do other stuff and not necessarily make that appointment, or find out, hey, do I need to come in? Is this something that I can do on my own? So take advantage of this opportunity. Feel free to ask some questions and let us know what you have going on today. I know I see Curt over there with the gift certificate that we're going to be giving away to Axe Masters. If anybody is interested in that, just like, share, comment on this stream, and we'll be picking a winner. Let us know. Have you been to Axe Masters yet? Curt, you would be an expert axe thrower.
I'm an expert axe thrower, and I'm trying to find somebody to share this video so that I can win too.
Not just share it.
They have to share it for you.
Comment, and share.
That's right.
And I also said share this into a talk group because apparently I'm in Facebook
He's
jail.
in Facebook jail.
I ate too much dairy, and Facebook realized it and knocked me out.
Hey, I'm just saying. I mean, Facebook already understands that when you get into dairy, bad things happen. So they had to lock you up because you could
It
get
was because
cantankerous.
I made mac and cheese and added extra cheese to it.
So here's a question we have. This is from Jennifer. She said,
Oh, yes.
I'd love to find a better low-fat cheese option. Does that even exist?
So not really. All the cheeses in the market are pasteurized, homogenized. They are loaded with, fake ingredients, and there's a lot of hormones put in there. There's a lot of antibiotics put in these things. I mean, it takes 10 gallons of milk to make a pound of cheese, and the FDA allows 750 million pus cells per gallon of milk. So that's 7.5 billion pus cells that is allowed to be in your cheese.
It sounds gross.
It sounds terrible. Pus, by the way, guys, if you don't know, is infection. And so if you are dealing with allergies or sinus issues, or if you've got, swollen lymph nodes, or you find that you have your body odor and things that you're not really happy about, stinky gas, these might be things that food might be playing a part in your day-to-day. Sorry, Curt.
Why are you looking at... Everyone literally looked at me when they're like stuff smelling and pus and all this other stuff.
Just talk about this.
The
your
butt of our
feet.
jokes.
Oh man, I can make a room clear if I take my shoes off.
Oh,
Like Pumbaa from The Lion King.
yeah, don't
That's
sound
what I'm reminded
downwind.
of.
No, none of his friends want to be downwind.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's all right, Curt. We're trying to help you. It's a good thing, right?
I did see, speaking of like finding some good options for cheese, your wife actually started tagging me in a bunch of videos this morning that was dealing with cheese and healthy alternatives to cheese. And so it was like cashews and stuff like that. So they had
actually,
some refuse.
Natural Living has a healthy cheese option that is a cashew based. Now that I think about it, I just don't get it often enough. And there is like Dia cheese is out there, but I personally am not a fan.
They taste weird.
But at the end of the day, at least it gives you that cheese option. And but I like if I have a gluten-free pizza, I put pineapples on it, or I'll put a different sauce on it, and load it up with vegetables, and I'm pretty satisfied and happy with that. So I just don't put cheese on things. And when I go to restaurants like Skipper's in South Shore, they know what I want. He wants a small Greek salad with Euro meat and no feta cheese. and they laugh at me and they say, that's not a Greek salad.
Here's something else.
Yes,
Here's a comment from Sergio. It says, good morning, first time listener, viewer. Star testing is going on today. Prayers for all involved. So I saw Chef Mary Bass made a comment this morning saying, hey, I got up like 5 a.m. to start breakfast for my kids. What are some tips? Whether that's sleep, breakfast, what should parents be doing for kids that are going to be star testing?
Thank you so much, Sergio. That's a great question. So, number one, we want to avoid all the sugary foods that they normally get into, like your cereal, your donuts, or your pastries. And you want to give them
energy drinks. Bang.
I don't think
Kids shouldn't be drinking that anyways.
hey, whoa, easy.
It's kids.
Kids. If it's so bad for the kids, then why are you guys drinking?
Because we're adults. And we can make
Right.
our own decisions.
I'm an
Okay,
adult, kind of.
okay.
The can tells me you have to be 18 years of age to purchase this.
Okay, so look at that. How weird is that?
It's for the
You're
adults.
drinking something that is only
It
prescribed
just says
to 18-year-olds.
recommended, not intended for individuals under the age of 18.
So
You
we're
have
not
to
testing
ask
anymore.
and wonder why that is.
That's true.
I feel like if an 18-year-old
Anyway,
walked into a
let's
gas
go back
station
to-
and bought it. No.
Let's go back to Sergio's question.
Yes.
So, what's the good foods that you need to be consuming? Eggs, chicken sausage. I have a paleo protein that we use in our office that we will put in a gluten-free batter or an almond flour pancake mix, and it'll be more of a nut based, and it'll be a little bit more rich in amino acids, and the kids love it. And we use real maple syrup, but we don't let them have it unless they're going to eat their eggs and their chicken sausage or their bacon or things like that. We get them to eat, protein. And so a protein shake might be the only thing that your kid will do. And, I was just talking to a young, I think he's a high school kid this week, and I just he was like, I'm tired in class, I'm grumpy, I'm angry. And we got him eating breakfast, and things have already started to change for him. And so your kids that are going in for STAR testing, come by the office. I have this stuff called, brain support or Brainstorm, and Brainstorm is a homeopathic for kids that can't swallow stuff, and I have this stuff called ribonucleic acid for kids that can swallow. Give them 3 or a dose of these things before they go to school and so that the brain is ready to perform and to pass those tests and to focus on those questions and get the right answers. And so we start with good proteins, good healthy fats. We avoid the sugar. We avoid the juice. We drink, water that morning, or you get maybe some almond milk or something if they need some kind of alternative, to the juices and whatnot. But when we put the sugar and the pastries into our kids first thing in the morning, their brain spikes that blood sugar, that insulin spikes up, and it stresses their bodies out, especially if that's a reoccurring issue for them, and then they crash.
Would it be better for them to have nothing?
It would be, no, they still need, I think to power through testing, because testing is stressful, so you're going to have things shift in the body. And at their age, no, I think that they need something of protein and fat value, less in the form of carb and sugar. And so we lean away. I would just completely starve them of sugar for the whole week, and they only get bacon and eggs. If you do happen to be like, oh, my kid won't do any of that, but they'll do oatmeal. Well, do steel cut oats, and then 30 seconds before you take that off the heat, drop an egg in it, stir it up inside it. They'll never see it, and it'll cook just enough, but it won't overcook that it looks like an egg. And then you put cinnamon, vanilla, and butter on top of it, and they'll be loving that. And that's a cool little treat that we might do for our kids. So, steel cut oats would be better than like your rolled ones. Make sure it's, gluten free, and play all those right games so you're not putting in anything that's overstimulating. Like if you got a kid that's sensitive to dyes, make sure they're not getting dyes this week. Like anything that's red, anything that's got a label that says red number whatever, or blue number whatever. Like all those chemicals are things that are negatively impacting the way the brain fires and functions and recalls information. And then the last big thing is do what my mom always did. She said, she'd lay her hands on me, she'd pray over me, and just say, I just pray that the mind of Christ comes upon you, and you can have the ability to answer those questions and not stress out when you go and take that test, and put some good positive energy into my ability to go in there and rock those tests out. And so, but it comes down to breakfast. You can make, little breakfast quiche. You can do boiled eggs. They can take it with them, and then before they take the test, they can eat an egg before they take the test, and their body will have fuel to go through that process, and it won't spike their blood sugar, and it won't cause them to have any change in mental brain function. And then get them to bed early. Turn off the games at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and say, hey, Saturday when you're done with all this stuff, we can get back into normal living, or we'll entertain you doing something else. And but we have to do these necessary things to give you a good night of sleep, to get you a good food feeding, get them hydrated, make sure they got water going with them to school, and make sure that they have good nutrients. Brainstorm's a great product we use at our office for stuff like that. Ribonucleic acid is a fantastic, one of my favorite products that I use for brain function. When I'm as an adult, right, I'm working on patients day in and day out. If my brain shifts while I'm looking at a patient and it wanders off in squirrel land, I immediately stop. It's my trigger. I go take 3 or 4 ribonucleic acid, and within minutes I'm back on track. And sometimes our brains just need a little re-educating, and that's what our office is for, is to teach you not only what to do, but give you tools to help you do it. And we want to make it as easy as possible, because all life starts and stops at the cellular
level.
That's good. And nutrition is what? The fundamental backbone that drives good health. And if that's true, that means nutrition is also the fundamental backbone that can drive bad health if we make bad decisions, or a lack of nutrition. And so we can get everybody to realize this week, these kids are going to pass their STAR test. You're going to be less stressed because they're going to be going to bed earlier. And it'll take a day or two, to get them acclimated. But, hey, this is what, Tuesday? Start today. Make Wednesday, Thursday, Friday better.
If you cut the sugar out of their diet, would they be going through any kind of withdrawals, though, potentially? And would that mess up their testing?
I mean, they could potentially have some levels of, like, angst, but not like not like a caffeine headache. They're not going to be like, they're not going to be like shaking and not being able to focus. They're going to, if you give them the right fuel at their age with the amount of, stem cells they got in their body, with the amount of brown fat they got in their body, with the amount of metabolism and cellular development they got, they don't have the withdrawals as aggressively as we do. I mean, they do, but not near to the effect.
Okay. Interesting. It's 9:57. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. We're going to take a break. Dr. Chapa, thank you for joining us today. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
Yeah, so guys, we at Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center absolutely love the game of helping you get healthy, stay healthy, one bite at a time. And truly, food is medicine. And let us teach you why your body's breaking down, and you will have a better understanding on what you can do to move forward and take action in living the best life that you've been designed to live. I mean, you owe it to yourself. You'll be more productive. You'll be more energetic. You'll be more fun. People want to be around you. And, people are attracted to a healthy smile. They're also attracted to what they can't see, just a vibrant, attitude or vibrant energy that you are portraying, whether you realize it or not. If you ever walked around with a chip on your shoulder and people say, "Hey, what's going on? Why you got that heavy?" People did that. It has done it to me before, and I've been thinking I was in a good mood, but I had something on my mind, and they could see it, and I'm like, man, I would never be good at poker. But at the end of the day, we can control a lot of these things in our office by giving you tools to know who to take, when to take it, why you're taking it, and to leverage it as a valuable tool for good living and moving forward in your future. So, at Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center, we've got a great team, we've got a great staff, we've got a great, bunch of clinicians that care about you winning the race of life and feeling your best and living your best each and every day. So give us a call, 281-554-8600, and have a fantastic week, guys. And for all those STAR tests, prayers are going out. And for all you moms that need rest, prayers are going out. And
pray for us too.
We'll pray for Curt and Gardy and
Thank
Jennifer.
you.
And Jennifer.
And so everybody, God bless you. Have a great day.
It's 10 o'clock. This has been Kickstart. We're going to be on for another hour. We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned.
That was fun. You guys were rowdy.
I was like, what's going on? I accidentally hit the Q button. Does that make y'all hear it?
Sandwich.
Check out the
It's
Casper.
located at the Texas Pit Stop Bar. The Casper Sandwich.
Folks. Thank you, Dr. Chapa. You're awesome. Okay, stretch it out. You're off the FM, so you can loosen up a little bit.
right.
I'm going to stand up and do a little stretching myself.
Here's the bad part. We don't have that camera anymore. Right?
It died.
It died.
What,
already.
this camera passed out?
That one passed out.
You didn't charge it last night?
No, we didn't charge it. And died.
Yeah. It's dead.
It usually dies too. Like
But you're not dead.
At 10:30-ish.
Where's your little pocket cam?
It's in my backpack.
Have you been seeing those videos?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm
We got one
excited for
ready
the
to
one that
drop.
you're dropping this afternoon, right? We went house hunting yesterday.
Well, who? You?
For me.
What?
Yeah. I think I can afford it if we do it right. If we do it right, if we make the arrangement the right way, I should be able to afford it. I mean,
Just you and Gardy went house hunting, or did you?
We went with a realtor.
Realtor named Anthony Macaluso. He's
Macaluso.
Macaluso.
Hit him up.
Macaluso. Macaluso. He's with Realty Solutions.
Yes.
Yes.
He is. It's with Realty Solutions.
And we went and looked at a house in downtown Lamarck yesterday. So that's the video that's going to be dropping later today. And it was a lot of fun. It's a nice house on the inside. It needed a lot of work.
So the interesting thing about filming this, which going back and looking at the footage, it could almost be like a reality show. You look at those house hunting shows, and that's what it had the potential to be. But I didn't know the rules, so we filmed a little bit in the house, but then I thought about it. I was like, this is somebody's house. It's their stuff.
People still live there.
And we didn't get like them to say anything. So I was like, well, we're not going to film anything inside the house. Outside from the street, maybe from this, the side.
Block out the address.
Right, yeah, for the most part. And then the main thing is making sure we didn't get anything inside.
Here's the weirdest part about me, because I've now looked at 2 places. I looked at a condo in Dickinson. That was the first one. And then looked at a house now in Lamarck. And I think every time I've walked in, because usually when I go and look at an apartment complex, right, because I've only ever lived in apartments.
Even growing up?
No.
Okay.
But, growing up, I'm
Sure.
talking about from when I was 18 up, right? Like when you're an adult, when you can drink Bang energy drink.
Are you really an adult, though? You still say you have your baby fat, but you're like about to be 31. You're like, I'm still a kid. I'm still one of the young guys. Yeah.
Fat. But the apartment is clean. Like, it's emptied out. There's nothing in it. But when I've gone and looked at these houses, every time I walk in expecting it to be, like, wiped out, like clean at its pristine, situation.
Someone's living there.
But it's somebody's house, and I'm like, I don't know about this.
Can't
It's
see it
kinda
with
weird.
your stuff.
So we walked into, when we bought our house, it was on the market for like 90 days in a hot market, and I was told it would never sell. It would hold that long, but it stayed there for that long, and I think it stayed there because it had a red wall. It was cluttery with furniture, and so you have to be able to look past that and be creative in your mind's eye and see, oh, like this is their house at the moment, but it could be my house, and it would look like this with my stuff in it, and I could do this with the kitchen, I could do that with the dining area, or I could put my movie theater thing here, or in your case, you'd probably have a video editing room, you know what I mean? And so
that could be that.
You see
one
how
room.
you have to start like expanding, your thought and being creative when you're looking at somebody else's house and not seeing their stuff. You got to see with your mind's eye. And your creative eye to see the potential. And sometimes, like, we got a really good deal on our house because of that.
It was on the market for 90 days.
90
and people
days,
couldn't see it.
Nobody could see what we could see. And then we went in there and got it for such a good deal. We were able to even make some upgrades and make it even more of a fun house.
I like it's a corner house, so it has this big corner lot. You're going to see that in that video that drops later today. You're going to see some of those nice, it has a big old palm tree and a couple of trees. The backyard was huge. It had a 1-car garage that it had enough space that you could literally expand and add a 2-car garage down the road. But I couldn't
put
get
your Porsche or your
I
Corvette
couldn't get over the inside of the house
in there in the second garage.
I felt that what's the right word to say? It felt like my grandma's house, and I couldn't get over that.
You don't like your grandma?
What's wrong with that? You don't have good memories there?
No, I have great memories at my grandma's house, but
She would make you those cookies. You always share this story. Like, you'd eat the raw cookie dough, wouldn't even wait for her to cook them.
I know, but when I think of the first house that I want to be in, and maybe I have to take a reality check maybe a little bit. I'm envisioning
Kurt
like
Casper
Gardy's
with
house,
a reality check?
Gardy's house, with the nice open windows and the granite countertops already in place, But I'm not going to find that in my price range. So it's kind of like a little house hunters for me, too, where I'm like, this is my budget, and this is what I want.
He shows a picture, slaps it. It's like the White House, and it's like, Kurt, okay, come on.
Give me this house in my budget.
Well, I mean, you could potentially move into a house in the budget or below the budget, build it, make some upgrades as you can, and then sell it for a little bit more and upgrade. And it might take you. But, one thing my wife and I have always done, and we still to this day, we have a picture of our dream house, so to speak, on our refrigerator. And whether that house ever comes to fruition or not, we love the houses that we've gotten to live in and to be a part of. And for different reasons. I mean, the one we had in Seabrook was an amazing house. It had these gigantuan 100-year-old oaks in the front and the back. And we had a 60-foot rope swing in the backyard. I mean, this thing was bad to the bone. And we completely gutted that house and were able to renovate it because we bought it for such a low price because at the time it was just worked out to our advantage, and God really winked at us and showed us. And then I didn't want to move. And my realtor called me one day and said, "Hey, Chop, it's time for you to move." And I'm like,
What? Why?
I said, "That's so funny, Dave." I said, I love you, but what do you do for a living? He goes, "I sell houses." I said, "Exactly. I don't want to move." And he says, "No, seriously, you need to move, and these are the reasons you need to move."
Because the house down the street sold for
No,
like
there was-
twice as much as.
Not even that. It was the insurance in the area was basically going to make my house a liability and not an asset or a good property to have. And he was right. I mean, the house, the flood insurance over there was just absurd.
It's good to have a friend though
And-
that'll let you know that information.
And he called me, which is why I like him. And he harassed me and said, "Hey, you need to sell." And I just got to where I was ignoring his phone call because I just didn't want to talk to him about it. And he goes, "Seriously, you need to do it." So one day I call. He goes, "Look, do this. Just call your insurance guy." Well, of course I didn't call my insurance guy. Well, this is how good God is. Like when you are in God's will and you are working towards, staying in His will, you win favor with people. I didn't go see my insurance guy. My insurance guy calls me and says, "Hey, I got a bum shoulder. I got a golf tournament this weekend. Can you fix it?" I mean, and I've never seen him up. He's never come into my office up to that point, and I haven't seen him since. But he came in. I said, "Hey, I got a quick question for you." Is it possible that insurance could drive my house into a negative state? He goes, "Where's it at?" And I told him, and he goes, "Oh yeah, get the heck out of there."
Wow.
And I'm like, really, God? You're gonna send my insurance guy to me? I mean, really? This is crazy. And so I said, okay. So I called Dave and I said, "All right, what do I got to do?" So he put me into contact with these people. I started doing I said, "I'll just figure out what I'm worth, like what I can buy." And we'll start looking. And we found this house. It was on, and I went and looked at it. I said, "Dave, that's the house I want." Dave goes, "Well, it won't be there. It's going to take us at least 3 months to get you out, ready to buy, and there's no way that house will be there that long." And I said, "No, you don't understand, Dave. Like, I want that house because it doesn't have anybody in behind us. I wanted an open lot behind us. It's facing the right direction." So we always get the morning sunrise in the back and the evening sun in the front. When your house is faced like that, for me, I'm a big lighting guy. Didn't know I was a big lighting guy, but I like how light hits my house inside at certain times of day. And so the setting of the house was perfect. The neighborhood I liked. I liked the house. It was big enough for my family. And so I said, "I need that house, Dave." And he goes, "Well, it ain't going to be there. I don't want to burst your bubble." I said, No, it will be. That's the house. And it sat there for 3 months. And we sold our house for more than we thought we'd be able to sell it for. Because one, I didn't want to sell. Like we perfected that. That was like a masterpiece of a house that we put back together and gutted. And it was so much fun. And then so we got a big a down payment. We were able to buy it. And I called Dave and I said, "All right, I'm ready to make an offer." The house was gone that same day. Well, I happened to know the realtor at that house. I used to do BNI networking groups with him, for years. And I call him up and I said, "Dude, what the heck happened to that house?" He goes, "Oh, she just got frustrated.
They just took it off the
And
market.
she just took it off the market."
Oh, wow.
I said, "Well, I'm ready to make an offer."
Put it back on.
And he goes, "Well, what's your offer?" And I told him, and he goes, "All right, I'll tell her." And so I got him and Dave back together, and all of a sudden, boom, here we are in this house that was literally gone for it looked like it was gone in that moment, but it sat there for 90 days for me. That's how cool God is. So God knows what kind of house you need. You just got to keep hunting, and He's going to find that price point, and you're going to get what you want.
That'd be cool. We need to find somebody who is going to sign off on us filming inside their house, so that way we can do that. KHEA house hunting is what I called it at the end. Yeah, KHEA house hunting, where we can show, and then it may help them sell their house. If you're listening right now and you have a house that's for sale and you think maybe it's good for Curt and you want us to come and shoot like a little documentary style search of the house hunting experience that Curt is looking to make that investment, then let us know. Reach out to us. We'll come check it out.
For the
I'll only
house,
take 1%.
only 1%. Oh my gosh,
Commission when it sells.
man! If it sells for $300,000, you get $30,000.
I'm not good at math.
Isn't that it?
I don't think so.
No, it's
Here,
3.
yeah,
It's
3,000.
300,000 would be 3 for 1%.
It's like 3 million.
Man, I was thinking. I have this. I use the Cash app now to send cash.
Yeah.
And you can get a debit card, right?
Okay.
And the debit card comes with rewards. And one of the rewards is 10% back from Kroger.
Okay.
And so every time I go and buy groceries. So let's say in a week I spend $100 at Kroger. 10% is $10. I'll get $10 back just for shopping.
That's cash money.
I don't know what the Kroger card give back is.
You can get a Kroger card for free.
Yeah, you get the Kroger card,
So
and then you can
get the
save money
Kroger
on
card,
fuel.
Fuel, and I get the $10 back when I spend $100 at the grocery store.
I don't think Kroger has thought this through.
Right?
Kroger's
Like,
losing money. Like,
It's
Kurt,
great.
You're
So,
working the system. Is this how you're going to
anyways.
buy a house? Because you're saying, like, I think I can get a house if I use the Cash App.
Cash App. If I only find ways to get money back,
I'm only shopping at Kroger, and then I'm going to buy the house with the Cash App with the debit card.
I'm only going to get my toothpaste and deodorant now from Kroger so I can get my money back on it.
You started buying those?
No. I was thinking I was going to finish with the house story, and then we can move on to other things like giving away these passes to Axe Masters. The one thing that really, I'm probably not going to get the house, even though I love the lot and I think it's a great lot and I love like everything on the outside of it, just not the inside, was that uneasy feeling that I had. And I'm gonna trust that God is going to give me the house that I want and will provide me the house of the future. And when you're standing in the living room having a conversation with the realtor and Gardy and just something doesn't feel right, then I know that's God telling me, like, this isn't your house. This
He also
isn't the
had
one
a
that you're
bunch of
gonna-
Mexican food, like right before we went to go look at the house. So I told him that. He was
I
like,
know
I don't
the
gotta-
difference
Hey,
between Mexican
just
food
like,
and God.
just like,
you know?
just like the STAR test. You got to eat a good breakfast before you go looking for houses.
no caffeine.
No caffeine.
That's funny.
You guys are awesome, man. And to your point, this is a fun stage. I mean, you're finding a place that you can call yours here. I mean, because this is going to be your first Texas house, right?
Yeah, first house ever.
Yeah.
I've only ever lived in. I have realized that I have moved every year since I was 18. Like every year, I have moved to a new apartment.
So, do you think that you're in a place now where you're settling down? Like, are you gonna become a Texan?
I'm
you've
staying
been
a
to-
Texan
you've
for the
been
rest of my life.
rodeo-
I was sold on Texas the first year I was here. But one of the things that I think I've learned from KHEA radio, and we've had a lot of realtors on, and we've had financial people on, is there are solutions to owning a house over an apartment and still pay the same amount that you're paying for an apartment.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that until today. Like, I thought I had to be making so much more money than I'm making now, or at least have two kind of incomes coming in. But I've realized that I pay $800, $900 for an apartment, and I can find a house that I'm paying monthly the same amount. And then it's becoming an investment instead of me not having that money every month.
Yeah. I mean,
And I wish I would have realized it sooner, because I could have easily moved in.
You know, you don't want to shit on yourself so much, because we can do that and we can get ourselves into that negative state. But hey, you know now, and so start today. And they say, when's the best time to plant an oak tree? 20 years ago. When's the next best time? Now.
Yesterday.
Always yesterday, today, and that's what you're realizing. So guess what? Put your boots on and dig your heels in and go ahead and make all the necessary arrangements to get in your new Texas house, dude. I'm excited for you.
Sweet. We love you, Dr. Shopper.
All right, God bless y'all. I got to roll, but we're gonna do it again next week.
Next Tuesday, 8:30-ish on KHEA Radio.
All right, God bless y'all. See y'all.
See ya. Hey, coming up later, we're still going to have Bay Area Houston Magazine coming in.
That's the plan.
You want to text him and see?
I just texted Blake to see if we could maybe give him a call to see what he's up to from Freedom Hawk.
Oh, so we can talk about some of that
Yeah,
stuff.
to see, because he is big on all that stuff, and I know his girlfriend and they're into that as well, with real estate and all that. So let's see. I just texted him and said, hey, can I give you a call? And I'm gonna just give you his phone number here.
And he said he's down?
Well, just call him. And then we'll figure it out from there. So that's his number. So you are listening to KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. You're getting a behind-the-scenes look at Curt playing with my phone, and that's what you're seeing right now. So don't give his number away.
Oh, wait.
Yeah. Well, actually, he probably wouldn't care, because he wants people to call him so he can do business with you. Check out our good friend Freedom Hawk Blake Hawkins. That's such a cool name. Freedom Hawk. So we're going to get this going and see. I'm going to be like, hey, you're on KHEA. He may not answer. We'll leave him a voicemail if he doesn't. I'll turn that ring down. That's a little loud. Talk to me. I'll be like, I got a house.
And then do you want to call or text Rick? He answered.
Ooh.
He answered and hung up?
Maybe he's busy. Well,
Ooh.
it's okay, Blake.
Blake?
He didn't know it was us. Or did he?
He probably did.
Well, maybe he'll call us back.
Did we tell them 10 o'clock?
Yeah. So, anyways, right now it is 10:17. We got 20 seconds left. We can go on the FM as well. I'd like to talk more about some real estate stuff until our next guest comes in, but we got about 10 seconds. So here we go. Let's get this going. Good morning. You're listening to KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. I'm Gardy.
And I'm Curt.
It is Tuesday morning. We had Dr. Aaron Chapa in studio talking about health, talking about caffeine, and maybe it's not a good idea to be like double fisting the caffeine.
Are you a little upset that we're double fisting? Because I saw the minute he said, like we were doing like energetic, we were both going great, and then he was like double fisting. And then you're like, oh, we're the worst.
No. Oh, was I?
Yeah.
No, I knew we were. I knew we were the whole time. I'm not.
Good. I was a little
I'm still
concerned.
a real person. Like, I can tell what's going on.
Good.
Hey, I just got confirmation from Blake. He said, yeah, give him a call. So, Curt, can you go ahead and give Blake a call again? We got Blake Hawkins, Freedom Hawk. We're going to be talking a little bit about, well, everything. I love this guy. He's a good guy. He has some big goals. He wrote a book, and I think he may have another one in the works. So we're going to find out what's going on, see how he is doing today.
I love the ringing in the background. And if he answers and hangs up again, I'm not calling. If he answers and hangs up again on us, I'm not calling.
Hey, what's up, man? How's it going?
It's going good, man. It's going good. How are you?
Doing good. Yeah, you're on the air right now.
Where is he at?
Okay.
What are you up to
what?
today? I know you're always busy. What are you up to today?
Man, I worked out this morning, and I just sat down to make some calls, and then you texted me, man. So I'm talking to you guys right now.
Boom. That's what's up. Hey, you know your book. You finished your 57-day workout challenge. How did that go? What did you see from the beginning to the end?
Man, so for me, I mean, the beginning it was obviously it was easy to kind of build it up, and then I started feeling a lot of momentum week 3. And, the last week or so was rough getting to the gym because I was a little tired. But overall, man, I mean, I just felt more focused in my daily life. I mean, it's crazy how working out every single day and staying focused on that and having a plan leads into other aspects of your life as far as your business, your relationships. So for me, these past 8 weeks, man, have been honestly the best 8 weeks I've had in a while in every area of my life.
Hey, what's next whenever it comes to health and fitness? Are you going to be moving on to a next? Or are you going to do the 57 days all over again?
No, man. So I wrote up what I'm going to do is after doing the 57 days, I've decided that I'm going to commit to doing a new program every 8 weeks.
Wow.
So what I did, so I wrote a new program, and I'm actually on my 3rd day now. And I'm just going to just keep writing up programs and kind of, giving people the opportunity to do them. It's good. It's good for other people to use the program because it's already mapped out for you. You don't have to think about it. All you got to do is show up and just follow the plan and get the results.
Man, Blake, by the time that you get done, you're going to have like more volumes than the encyclopedia.
And more muscles.
Yeah.
More muscles than me and Curt combined.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, so me
For
and Curt yesterday, we went and looked at a house. He's on the hunt for a house, right? And
Okay.
I know you have some background and knowledge in real estate whenever it comes to investing and knowledge in real estate when it comes to buying and flipping houses. Can you talk a little bit about, I guess, key things to look for whenever it comes to trying to make a purchase for a house as an investment, whether that's to instantly flip or hold on to?
Absolutely. So for an investor, there's a few numbers that we want to look at. We want to look at ARV, which stands for after repair value. So that's what the property will sell for retail. So say, for example, that number is $100,000. Okay.
Okay.
Let me pull out my calculator here so I can kind of see something. Okay, so you got
bringing out the big guns.
Yeah, man. You got 100,000. Okay. Now, the general rule with real estate investing, it's not set in stone, but it's a good rule to follow, especially in the beginning. And they call that the 70% rule. So what you're going to do is you're going to take 100,000 times 7. So now you're at 70,000. Now what you want to do is, if you've been doing this for a while and you walked a bunch of properties, you can pretty much eyeball what a property will take as far as repairs.
Wow.
But in the beginning, you want to get a general contractor to go out there with you, walk the property, and he'll be able to say, okay, this house is going to be $20,000 in repairs. So now, so say the house is going to be $20,000 to repair it. Now we're going to take 70,000 minus 20,000. So now we're at 50,000. So that's where you need to purchase the property to make sure that you can fix it up and sell it and make a profit.
Awesome. See, these are things that I had no clue about. And there's a lot of TV shows. It makes it look so easy, and I think sometimes people will want to jump in and be like, I can do that, but you don't know those little things. For
sure. Yeah, it's not look, I think anybody can do it. It's just it's just doing it. It's not as easy as as what HGTV makes it look out to be.
Yeah.
But if you know your numbers and you have a system in place where, you have the right people there to help you, I mean, anyone can flip a property. It's not rocket science. The most challenging thing is just finding the deals. That's right. That's the biggest challenge.
So what about not necessarily like a quick flip, but you want to buy a house and live in it, and maybe you may live in this house for, 30 years, 10 years, 5 years, you don't know, but you're planning on living in it. How do you make sure, I guess, you find a house that's a good investment to live in, not necessarily the flip?
So you're talking about someone that wants to live in a house for a long period of time?
Yeah, potentially, a year, 5 years, maybe. You don't know how long. So Curt right now is hoping to buy a house or a condo that he can live in, for the foreseeable future, maybe, and he has a family and he outgrows it. But he wants to make a good decision. So like whenever he hopefully one day resells it, he'll be able to be, have some equity in it and be on the right side.
Yeah, I think so. Here's the thing. I think that's a great idea. It's everyone has different philosophies. I mean, so my thing is if I'm someone that's looking to purchase a home, maybe a first home, and I'm going to have a family and build out from there. I want to get something that maybe in that I'm going to use $100,000 for example.
Okay.
Get something for $100,000. Live in it for 2 or 3 years. Put 15, 20 grand into it, update it to the best of your ability, and now say the property retail is worth, say, $160.
Yeah.
And so then you live in it for 2 or 3 years, you sell it for $160, you bought it for $100, you put 20 in it. You'll make, when it's all said and done, you'll make $20,000-$30,000 of profit. And at the very same time, you had a house that you lived in, and you were making payments that something that you own and you didn't rent.
Yeah.
So I think it's just having a game plan. I think, if you're looking to get in a house and you're looking to stay in there for 30 years, that's fine. But just know that it may not be an asset for you because it's not really going to produce income. It's just a place where you live. A house only becomes an asset when you liquidate it and you get the cash. It's, so I think it's just having a plan in sight, to make it profitable.
One of the things that I looked at yesterday, we looked at a house and had a great lot. It had a great outside, huge house on the outside, like a major lot. But then it was a tiny inside house, or it felt tiny when I was inside of it. Out of date, a lot of work, right? So one of the things that we were discussing and talking about and that I have to kind of play around with a little bit in my head is, it's a house that needs some renovations, right? It needs some new paint. And it might need some updates on the counter, maybe adding some marble countertops, etc. How does one go about covering, adding the cover cost, covering the cost of some renovations and stuff. How can you make that work and not have an astronomical monthly amount of payment that you're paying back to the bank to kind of keep it all financially sound for you?
Okay, so I mean so basically what it sounds like to me is you're looking at it from an investing standpoint. So from an investor standpoint, what I would do is I would get extreme clarity on what is it going to take, what kind of repairs are we looking at as far as money. For this property, I want to buy this property. I want to live in this property for a few years or whatnot. What is it going to be? Is it going to be $10,000? Is it $15,000? You need to get extremely clear on what that number is. So what I would do is you can always get a general contractor. They'll give you a bid. They'll just walk out and say, hey, listen, a fully renovate this property is going to be $10,000. Okay, great. That's awesome. Maybe you want to get a few bids, maybe get 2 or 3 and kind of see where everybody's at. Once you get a clear idea of what it's going to take to rehab that property, then you can go about it a few different ways. I mean, you can get very creative on how you want to do this. I mean, you can go ahead and purchase the property, get your annual mortgage and for what the property, what you bought it for, and then for repairs, say the repairs are $10,000. Maybe you use what they call a private lender. I use private lenders. Private lender is someone basically who is just an individual that you have a relationship with that will lend you cash, obviously for property rehab, and obviously they get paid interest on it within a certain amount of time. So there's all kind of creative ways you can do it. I think a lot of people, when they think of real estate investing, they're like, oh my God, I got to have $500,000 under the bed before I can start investing in real estate. Technically, you don't have to have any money. You have to have a little bit of knowledge, an idea what it takes, but have the right relationships with people that can help fund those deals. But there's people out there that will do it. They'll lend you $10,000 to fix up a house and 6% on it. And it's a benefit for you because you didn't have to come out of pocket. You can pay accordingly. And it's on the sideline versus going for a bank original loan, and then it's a win for them because they're making money with their money, so they're actually growing their cash. That's a long answer to your question. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Hey, we appreciate you taking the time to share with us.
I was just gonna ask, Blake, $10,000. That seems like for a guy like me, that seems like a lot of money, right? Like $10,000.
Yeah.
Like, I've never had that in a bank account ever in my life, right?
Yeah.
But is that enough to renovate and make that happen? And is that a sound investment? Like, should everyone who's looking at a house be like, hey, let's add an extra $10,000 so that way we can update it?
Okay, so I'm going to give you a real example. I have a property in Missouri City right now that I contracted for literally $100,000. And the property retail is $165, $170. We walked the property. The property only needs $12,000 in repairs. So I'm going to put, we'll put $12,000 in repairs into it, which is very minor stuff, a lot of just cosmetic things. And then we'll go ahead and list it and sell it for $170. So. Yeah, I mean, $10,000, $12,000. It just depends on the house. It depends on the property. I mean, if I knew the exact, I've walked so many properties. I could pretty much eyeball and guess where it's going to be at for repairs. To give you another example on the other extreme of the spectrum, I'm also doing a property in Sagemont area. It was a flooded house, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-story house, 2,300 square foot. And it's going to take $70,000 to fully repair the house. So it just depends on where the house is and the status of the house. But yeah, $10,000 with certain properties, it could be enough to fully update and to get to where it needs to be.
Yeah, I think it also depends on what's important to you. Like if you're going to live in it, then you maybe you see it and you're like, hey, I want the paint. I want to paint the cabinets or like put granite. Marble in the bathroom. I don't know, but it just depends on what you want to do, and you could do that in time or make the big investment up front.
Exactly. It depends on what you want to do. Correct. Also, if you know you're going to sell the property within the next few years, you don't want to what they call basically overdo it, right? And you don't want to be the golden goose on the block.
Right.
And what that means is you don't want to have a house that is built and updated to a house that's worth, say, $200,000, but you're in a neighborhood, most of the properties are selling for $150,000.
Yeah.
Because that's just going to be an oddball on the market. It's going to be hard to sell whenever you do want to sell, believe it or not. So you want to update it to where it's comparable to other properties that are selling for that retail. So, you don't want to necessarily overdo it. Obviously, everyone has different tastes and things, so you can pretty much do anything you want to a property, but just be in mind on the business side of it. Whenever you sell it, you need to compare with what the other properties look like and what they're selling for as far as, the stuff that you put into the house.
That's awesome. Hey, well, again, thank you Kurt, do you have any more questions?
No, that's all I had. Thank you so much for joining us.
We appreciate you.
It was a pleasure, man. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Have a good one.
All right, brother. Bye.
Bye. Hey, this is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. It's Kickstart. It is 10:32 right now. We're going to be on till 11. And we're excited. We had Dr. Chop in. We're giving away some Axe Master Passes. Can you share about that?
Yeah, if you're watching right now on our Facebook page, if you're listening in your car, or you're driving around or sitting at home, go and like KHEA Radio on Facebook, because right now, if you're watching on our Facebook page, we're actually giving away some passes. You have to like, share, and comment on that video in order to win. One of the things I want to do, and maybe we should do this in the coming days, is we haven't done one where it's just strictly for people who are watching online. Like, you have to call in or something like that. So there's some prizes for those people who are sitting at home who may not have a Facebook page.
That's like your favorite thing to do.
I know, because there's people who don't have Facebook. So we got to give those people an opportunity as well.
If you're listening and you don't have a Facebook page, text us 346-704-1806. Kurt wants to hear from you.
I do.
And we'd appreciate that. So let us know. Right now, I think we're going to take a quick break. We just had a great call with Blake Hawkins from Freedom Hawk. Make sure you go check him out. Search that on the internet. Search it in Facebook, even if you don't have one. And his page will still show up. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM.
Radio. Real Christian life.
Let me see. Yo. Boom. Hey,
Boom.
If you're listening on Facebook right now, give me some feedback. What do you got going on? Have you already shared this video? Are you going to be the winner of the Axe Master Passes? We're going to throw that axe, hit the target every time, become a master axe thrower, and then join the axe throwing league of the world, the world's axe throwing league. That's a real thing. Just like they have bowling leagues, like they have darts and competitive leagues, maybe you can become the next great axe thrower. I could see that becoming like an Olympic sport, and we need the U.S. to go for gold every year, and it could be you. So don't let us down. Don't let your country down.
Speaking of Olympics, they have a golf team for the Olympics. They need to have an axe throwing team. If they have golf in the Olympics, they need to have axe throwing, right?
Oh, yeah. If golf is considered a sport, I feel like axe throwing should be a real sport. Like I'm throwing axes. Boom, 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 boom.
Curling is considered a sport, then axe throwing needs
curling
to be
is
a sport.
Is curling the one in the winter?
Yeah, where you
you're like
looks like you
have a broom and you're like sweeping.
Yeah.
Sweeping it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's really weird.
that's the one. Oh, man, my back feels fine. I need to find a chair situation, maybe like an extra pad or something, or like because this table comes up, but with all our cables here, like I need to be able to stand up and do 30 minutes of our show standing.
Oh, we should do our whole show standing one day.
Let's not get crazy.
These things go up. The arms go up.
Yeah, it does. So I don't know. We'll figure something out one day. Just not today, because I don't want to break anything in the middle of this.
Hey, do you want to play a quick video and then we can...
Which one? It depends. Which video?
Which one do you want to see? Do you want to see the cruise video? Do you want to talk about Easter weekend at Abundant Life?
Do the cruise video.
Okay.
If anybody wants to check this out, if you haven't had the opportunity to go watch this, because we're giving away a cruise, you have the opportunity to win it as well. Let's go find that video. Like, share, comment, and then let us know what you think. This is Gardy
Gardy with KHEA Radio. I'm super excited. We're teaming up, giving away a cruise. We're teaming up with Your Vacation Edge Cruise Planners and Royal Caribbean Cruise Line. You're gonna have the opportunity to win a cruise. All you have to do is like this video, comment on this video, share this video out so everybody can see it, and you can be cruising this year. Make sure you go like Your Vacation Edge on Facebook. Make sure you go like KHEA Radio on Facebook. We're teaming up, doing this giveaway for you.
Hey, that music is nice. It makes me feel good. I was looking for some background music to do something with some video stuff.
Yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, and I always do that. I find tracks that you've used before, and I'm like, ooh, this one sounds good. And you're like, Gardy, I used that one before. But I don't think you ever realize that I'm being like a little facetious.
Because you play it?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, this one's nice. But you're like, Gardy, I've used that one. And you're just like, you dummy. Like, that's kind of the vibe you give off. I'm just like, oh, that's right. You did use that one.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
When you're doing that. But yeah, I usually
Why'd you call me a dummy?
I never called you a dummy.
Even the way you said that, it's really not nice.
Wow.
There's just a lot of
Hate.
different kind of energy in the room at the very moment. No,
You can feel it. It just vibes off
You're
of
like,
you.
Okay, these are weird vibes.
Yeah, the weird vibes. We got a lot of those. Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the things that I do when I go hunting for that music is I use like vlog music, and I feel like that's exactly what you're doing is you're making vlogs, and so a lot of times you're searching for music that goes in those vlogs, but I edit those commercials and stuff using vlog music, so it's easy to find.
How do they find like those vlog background, like you see on YouTube all the time, people talking and they just have random background music. I'm like, where do you find this music?
We can't give away all our secrets, can we?
I'll give
If
it
you
away.
know, you
I'll
know.
help you because you're an intern and maybe people want to know.
Okay.
So it's you search royalty-free music, and there are people who actually create music for YouTube backgrounds. So that way, because a lot of times you can't publish music that's like artists and stuff like that produce it.
Supposed to pay for that.
Supposed to pay for it, but there are when it's royalty-free, you can actually use it anywhere you want to use it.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you.
Yeah. You're allowed to use so much of a music though, like a track, right? Isn't it like 20 seconds or 30 seconds you can use? I think without.
It used to be 30 seconds. I don't know what it is today.
That's why I can do this, and it's okay because you're able to just a little blurb. But if you use like an entire song, so for I Am Justified, for the Freedom Call, I put a part of his song in because I was like, well, he gave us access to his whole EP if we wanted to use it. So I was like, okay, well, it should be okay if we use this track. But even still, like I didn't use, a big chunk of it for the entire thing because I didn't want to trigger anything with social media to where it would put an ad on there, say like, do you have the right to use this?
Right.
Did you get it by chance?
Get what?
Did you ever get like dinged? Did it say like this track has? So here's the funny thing is we live stream the services at Abundant Life Christian Center. If you don't know, KHEA Radio actually live streams and records from Abundant Life Christian Center, and the live streaming that happens every once in a while we get dinged, and I don't know where it's from.
Wow.
Well, it's probably from the tracks. Sometimes we have tracks, or like if there's kids that do a performance, like a dance or something, and they use a track from a song.
Right.
It's like from that or something.
Yeah. Well, I know that for Freedom Call, for whenever we had band practices, we had to make sure we used the exact words in the original part of the song. So like we couldn't accidentally change the words as we're singing them because could be copyright hindrances. Because I want to say that Frederick told us that one of his friends accidentally messed up words of a song or changed it because he didn't like the original words or something, and he got sued like a lot of money. We were like, okay, we're gonna keep the original
That's
words
ridiculous.
in here then.
I'm just waiting for us. No, I don't want it to ever happen.
Oh, no.
Hey, Natasha said hi, then she tagged a friend. I think she's interested in maybe throwing some axes. But good morning to you, Natasha. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in and hang out with us for a bit. But yeah, we're talking a little bit about music whenever it comes to creating content. We like to create a lot of content here.
Yeah, I actually was trying to find a video earlier this morning for Sam, who owns the Texaco there
In Lamarck.
and I was scrolling for a long time. I was like, oh man, we have a lot of content.
Yeah, I wonder if it is possible to produce too much. There's probably a couple ways, like thoughts whenever it comes to that. Like, can you produce too much where you're just oversaturating everything? But I feel like if it's good and decent, then it's okay.
Well, I look at it this way. So when you look at like places like some of the TV stations in Houston, they post probably like 3 or 4 times an hour, like on Facebook, which is nuts. Like you scroll through and it's hard to find, but then it shows up on my page. You know, like then I'm like, oh, this KHEA article or, you know, some of the other, you know, Fox 26 or whatever they are, their content shows up. And it's like, oh, this is interesting. So they post a lot of content and then somehow it ends up maybe that one thing didn't show up in your timeline, but something showed up.
But not everything shows up in your timeline.
No.
Right.
You have to go hunt for it.
You have to go hunt for it, and that's the way those algorithms work. You know, like, oh, maybe they want to see this because the keyword was food. You know, a lot of our videos get tagged food or beauty or not necessarily maybe like sports or news. There's those different tags, so it looks and sees what people's interests are, and then like, oh, maybe they'd be interested in this. You know, like weather. I don't know.
You know, we need to give away some. We need to get our hands on some Astros tickets and give some away, because that might put us in more of a sports category. You know what I mean?
Astros are sports, so that would be perfect. I like that. And right now, the Astros are winning again. They started out the season kind of flat, but dude, they're putting it together. They're a good team. It's going to be a good season.
Yeah. What's their slogan this year for the Astros? It's take it back.
Yeah.
Because, you know, last year they made it to, I thought they were in the ALCS and then lost. So they were like the series before the World Championships.
Well, it was Earn It, and then last year was
I can't
Run
remember.
It Back. Maybe was it Run It Back or no, something like that, and then it's like Take It Back.
Take it back.
I think last year was Take It Back. I don't know what this year is.
I thought I saw Take It Back again.
No, this year is Take It Back. But that's also the name of like a punk band, like Take It Back. I used to let's do that from Arkansas. I have opportunity to see them play, but I mean they're not. I don't think they're a band anymore. This is like early 2010s.
Yeah, this year's Take It Back.
Take It Back. So I think of that. I'm like, bum, 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 like Take It Back is what I think of. I wonder if I was the band, I'd be like Astros. That's cool. You can use it.
But you have to play our song.
Play my song.
Yeah.
Slide me like a dime for every ticket sale.
Right.
We'll be good. Hey, Mandolin said, wow, it's gorgeous outside. It really is.
I'd rather be outside today than in this studio, unfortunately. I'm so sorry, Gardy.
Kurt, you dog. You better stay here in this seat. The high is 87 today.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, let me look and make sure I'm not making up some fake news.
You
87.
know the thing I miss, Gardy? I know you don't like it.
You miss me?
I miss that.
You miss me, Kurt?
I miss that weather like laser sounds that we used to have.
I'm glad you miss them. The weather's nice today, dude. 87. What are people doing today? Kids are star testing, probably like really mad. It's like the best day of the year so far. Super nice outside, and they're like, no, you're staying inside and you're testing, and you're going to like it.
The worst is for teachers.
Why is it worse for teachers?
Than the kids.
They get paid to be there.
That's true.
Yeah, but you know what? For students so whenever there's star testing taking place in a school, and I don't know if it was every school, but I've taught in 2 schools in Texas, and by the way, Texas, other states don't do this.
Okay.
Other states don't do this. So yeah, you can call it the best, but when you're taking tests like this, it's the worst. So they would do stuff like the whole school would have to shut down, and every student would have to be like basically in a classroom the whole time somebody's star testing. So it could be like 5, 6, 7 hours that these kids have to sit in this classroom, and as a teacher you have to entertain them for 6, 7 hours.
What do you mean entertain?
Like you got to do something. And
when you get up and dance and like do jokes.
But you couldn't do things like watch a movie because it had to be silent. So like these kids had to be silently doing something in one classroom for 5 hours, up to 6 hours if they're not testing, even if they're not testing.
Were you the teacher showing the movies? Because that was always my favorite. Like,
yes.
Well, I remember, and I've seen a meme about this. It's like you knew what was going down when you had like the TV cart. This obviously was before flat screens, before like HDTVs didn't exist. You had the cart with the big old box TV, and the teacher wheels it in, blows off the VCR cassette, and pops it in, and you're watching whatever the teacher decides. But those are the days.
Oh, yeah.
You know, for me, it was, but you couldn't, when STAR testing happens, you have to literally stay silent. The entire school shuts down. It's not just the kids who are testing. It's literally the entire school.
Yeah.
It's a travesty because it puts education on hold.
Seriously.
For a couple of kids, a couple classes of kids to meet a standard that a government who is not even part of an education system to follow.
Right.
But it's so important because your funding depends on it. The state government depends on, you can lose funding if your STAR is not up to standard.
I think testing's good.
This is if we ever did a grind my gears segment, STAR testing would be in there because it's just, I think it's a travesty to students all across the state.
Well, SAT does that too. I want to say Daniel had told me that whenever you're taking the SAT, even if you're done, you have to wait till every other person taking the SAT is done too. Like,
take a nap.
Yeah.
I mean, I did standardized testing in school, and then like your SATs, you finish or whatever. It's just like, okay, they want to make sure there's not any, and there's going to be distractions, and people's attention spans are different and everything, but just want to make sure it's fair to everybody, I guess.
Yeah.
But this week they block it off. It's for testing. This, it's the format that we have right now, and I guess they're just trying to do. It's not easy. Running a state. It's not easy running an education department for an entire state. So it's just what we've been dealt right now. And hopefully the kids are going to have a good day and everybody pass their test.
The other thing that I think, speaking of grind our gears, is there's a praxis that most teachers across the entire country have to take. It's called a praxis test. And it basically tells if a teacher is fluent in math, reading, and English before they can be a teacher.
It's a good idea.
And each state has their own standards of what score you need in order to be a teacher in the state, right? So when I was taking my certification in Vermont, I had to meet a certain standard. And there's a lot of teachers that I was taking classes with that they couldn't pass the praxis.
Mm-hmm.
And so they couldn't teach. The state of Texas is the only state in the entire country that does not allow teachers to take a praxis. Like, your praxis scores don't matter. Isn't that funny? Like, here's a state who prides itself in education, but has a different standard, and you don't have to take any test.
Yeah, you do. You have to take. There's tests you have to pass to become a teacher.
No.
Yeah, you do.
You have to take classes.
Sure.
You have to take the classes, but there's no like standard test. You have to take a certification class.
Yeah, the certification.
But you can literally teach in the state of Texas without having the certification test passed yet. As
long as you're pursuing it in a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In the state of Vermont, you cannot teach a class until you pass the praxis.
But like, okay, think about like back in the day, right? How did people learn? Like schoolhouses, and they weren't doing any of that stuff, and like colleges back then were around, and because like, oh, you didn't pass the praxis, like what I mean? Like, if somebody's learning, you have good teachers, you probably have bad teachers,
Right.
Just because somebody didn't pass your Vermont praxis test doesn't make them a good teacher.
Not Vermont, it's the entire country follows it except for the state of Texas.
Well, it doesn't matter. You still have good teachers and bad teachers, all over Vermont, all over the country.
True.
So passing a praxis doesn't make you a good teacher or better than any other teacher. You can still be a terrible teacher and pass the praxis test, and you can be a great teacher and never even heard of it, because you teach here. So it just depends. We need to do a better job of, I guess, encouraging people to go into education, and maybe we can turn our education in the country around.
You know what the best thing about the state of Texas, because I did see there are certification tests. Yes, most districts won't sign your contract. That is true, but I didn't. I was teaching already and didn't have a certification. I was in the process of doing it, right? But the funny thing about the pathway that I had to choose and the classes that I was teaching as a certification, so videography was tied in as a technology education or something, but things like welding, electrician, all that other stuff was inside of the test. So technically, legally, I'm allowed to teach welding in the state of Texas. I'm allowed to teach electrician in the state of Texas. I've never touched welding. I've never done electricity stuff in my entire life, but I'm certified to teach it in the state because I passed the certification test. That's included it.
Have you taught them?
No, I haven't, but I could. If there was a welding job that was out there, I can show them that I passed the certification. and they could hire me to teach welding. Isn't that funny? I've never touched it in my life, but I could teach it.
You walk into the students know more than you about welding.
Right? They would, unfortunately.
Yeah. Hey, Blake says, I love Axe Masters. That's what's up, man. Hey, make sure you like, share, and comment on this video. You'll have the opportunity to go throw some axes. We're going to be giving away those passes. If everything runs the way that we are thinking, we're going to be announcing those winners tomorrow. And the only reason we wouldn't is if we honestly forget. I may make a post-it and stick it to Kurt's head, like after the show is over. So that way tomorrow I'll be like, oh, there's a post-it on Kurt's head. We're giving away these Axe Masters passes tomorrow. So,
Thank you for sharing, Blake. I appreciate it.
boom. Thank you so much. Yeah, so right now we're talking about, for whatever reason, a lot of like testing in the schools because the STAR test is going on this week. I like the way Dr. Chapa was spinning it positively. You know, make sure that your kids, if you have any kids that are testing this week, that they get a good night's sleep. Maybe cut out some of the sugar out of their diet. Don't feed them sugar before they go in. That includes like the cereals and the donuts and the pastries. And I was trying to get it out of him like, hey, is it better to eat that than not eat anything at all?
Oh,
But
yeah.
I don't know if he was understanding what I was saying, and I didn't want to dwell on that too much, but try and give him a good breakfast. He was saying, you know, the proteins, whether that's like the sausage, you know, turkey sausage, chicken sausage, normal sausage, eggs, bacon, stuff like that. So that way they're not hungry and they have a good start to the day.
I wanted to ask him about Pastor Josh's breakfast of the 6 raw eggs inside of the thing. But I never got a chance to ask him about that. There was one other thing that I was going to bring up, but
Is it about teaching? Or was it about breakfast or testing? Was it
man.
about us giving away a free cruise, maybe throwing axes?
Probably the free cruise, but I don't remember.
I want to throw
axes.
axes on a free cruise.
Oh, let's make it happen.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot of money in repairs.
Well, I'm going to throw it in the water.
Okay.
Yeah. That's my plan.
Whoever hits the shark first wins.
Kurt, why would you want to hurt our sharks? They did nothing to you. Hey, if you're watching on Facebook, let us know what do you have going on today. It's a beautiful day outside. There's a high of 87 degrees, which is nuts.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say.
Thank goodness.
Oh, okay. So we were talking about getting a proper amount of sleep, right?
Okay.
I remember as a high school student when I was competing in speech tournaments, Friday nights, you know, I always made sure that I was in bed at 8 o'clock. And I would get so mad because my bedroom was below the TV. We had basements in Nebraska. It was below the TV, and my parents would stay up late watching TV. And I remember being like, "Mom, Dad, I have a speech tournament tomorrow. Turn your TV off. I need my beauty res."
Were your parents like, how did our sons end up like this?
Oh,
Like, why are they this way? Why couldn't they have played sports?
Wow.
Why couldn't they have been like
I remember
an academic scholar? No, he was
apparently
a speech and debate guy.
We had a thing at the church on a Friday night, and my mom was talking. My mom actually worked for the church at that time, if I remember correctly. And I was like, "Mom, we gotta go. I gotta go get my sleep. I have a speech tournament tomorrow. I have to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Like, let's go." She's like, "Kurt, you're being rude. Stop."
I saw a quiz on your mom's Facebook that she did the other day, and it was about the sons. It was like, which of your children would most likely be a diva? Tagging at Kurt. Which of your sons, you know, doesn't have any patience? At Kurt. Which of your sons is like the angel? At Blake. At
That's funny.
Did you see
I was
that?
waiting for you to be like, "Oh, drop a name." Hey, do you want to go on and then
I do. I would
Sweet.
love to. I would
Awesome.
love to. So we got some time, and we're going to be talking a little bit more about Kurt's mom's Facebook quizzes.
Oh.
So here we go. Are you all excited for this? I am. Here's a little bit of a song. Tell me if you've heard it. Good morning. You're listening to KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. I'm Gardy.
And I'm Kurt.
And we have our intern in studio. What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Are you having a good first day here?
I'm having a great first day. This is a lot of fun.
Are you coming back?
I absolutely would love to come back. If I'm welcome to come back, I'm happy to come.
You know, this might be the first show that we've ever made it through that I haven't had to fire the intern.
Should Ethan be like
Ethan
worried?
should be scared because she's done great. She's commented along. We're gonna work on a few of the replies
Yeah.
and growing her as an individual and helping her become the best that she possibly can be.
I'll take that.
One of the first things I asked her when she walked in, I said, Hey, how are your organizational skills? Are you an organized person? And you said
I said I'm actually very organized, like slightly almost OCD.
Does that mess over in the corner concern you?
Yes,
You can't see the mess on the FM or on Facebook actually, so it's good. But
That's on
there's
purpose.
All of our giveaway stuff is over in the corner,
Yeah.
and we just have a whole bunch of it. So we might need some of that organization.
Hey, I am absolutely here for it. I'm happy to organize.
so. We actually have the cruise ship in the corner. We have some axes in the corner. All the stuff that we're giving away is in the corner.
Wow,
So you're missing out if you're not able to walk by and see it.
a big old cruise ship in the corner.
It's over there.
All
We're
right.
giving away a Royal Caribbean cruise with Your Vacation Edge. Cruise planners, make sure you go check it out. We're giving that away through Facebook. So if you haven't had the opportunity to watch that video, then you haven't had the opportunity to enter to win, which is it's a reality. It's almost hard to consider this as real. Realize this is actually happening. We're giving away a cruise. Somebody's going to win this.
I still don't think it's hit me that we've done this. And I think, we've worked a lot for it. We worked hard to get this cruise. 6 months of pounding the pavement, knocking on doors,
Literally hitting the floor.
hitting
for
the
the past
floor.
6 months.
Yeah. I
Every
want
day.
this cruise. And we told people, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. God's going to help us. God's going to get us this cruise. And you know what? God showed up.
That's awesome.
So you know what? We're going to give away a car. God's going to give us a car to give away.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm believing that God's going to give us a house to give away, and it's going to happen, and people are going to be blessed. An entire house. I'm thinking a $450,000 house.
Come on.
I'm not stopping at just like a $100,000 house. I want a $450,000. I want a house better than what Gardy has. I want a house better than what the average Joe has. I want a house that people are going to be like, this is a mansion. I
Yeah.
want a mansion.
Bless some people.
Let's go. And you know what? They won't even have to worry about the insurance for that house because we're going to cover that too.
Come on.
It's going to happen.
You're just talking now.
I'm just praying it into
You're
existence.
just praying in the blessings.
I didn't even hear a prayer. That was just just talking.
When you just speak it into existence.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Whenever it comes to just saying stuff, you got to put in the work. You got to. It's like with the cruise. It wasn't just us talking about it. We made calls. We did a lot of work that went into it. Begging, pleading, bargaining, dealing. So
I won't stop until we give away all this stuff. Everything in the world.
again, you're still talking.
I won't stop.
You got to put the work behind it. So right now it's 10:58. Hey, thank you so much for taking the time to tune in. This is KHEARadio.com, 99.5 FM. Tomorrow we're going to have another show. I know we're talking to the Cajun Throwdown. It's happening in Galveston. And then we are also
Talking hippie fertilizer.
Yes, we're talking to Hippie Fertilizer. Again, this is KHEA Radio. Y'all be blessed. Have a good day. Maybe try and get outside. It's a really nice day outside.
I'm going swimming. I didn't see the ramp. Anyways,
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Love you.